Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Naruto is close to death and saved by Fem Kurama and Harem, and subscribe if you enjoy the video, and also check the description. So let's begin the story. I've done it! I've got the Kyuubi Jinchuriki! Ha ha ha, the nine-tailed fox is mine at last! Pain yelled while laughing maniacally. Kit! Kit woke up! Come on! Yelled the Kyuubi as she thrashed around her cage. Yes, Kyuubi is a girl here. It took the whole Akatsuki to finally catch you, but I did it. You may have killed the others, but you underestimated me. Ha 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 ha, continued the crazed Akatsuki leader. Kit, please wake up. You're gonna die. He'll kill you, begged Kyuubi. Naruto was barely conscious. He felt pain racking throughout his body. He was numb from the pain. So much that he can't even open his eyes. He felt hopeless for the first time in his life. He was truly in a dire situation for the 24-year-old to feel hopeless after his horrible childhood. He didn't even feel this hopeless as he saw all of his friends die before him. As a matter of fact, he was in that position because he wanted revenge for their deaths. Time to extract the bijou within the brat. The king of hell will be close to freedom. I will rule the world, ha 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 ha. Kit! Please wake up. Don't die yet. TTH, that's right, Kyuubi's still alive. I must save her. Naruto stirred faintly. Kit! Quick! Run away! Pain saw him stir slightly. Don't bother, boy. You don't have any strength left to fight back, he hissed. Naruto did not hear him as he used the last of his willpower to enter his mindscape. He looked completely bored as he appeared. His hair had bits of ash in it, his clothes were torn so much it was barely recognizable, and his usually cheery face was covered in his own blood as it dripped off his chin. He slowly limped to the cage containing his only friend left. Kit! What are you doing? Please, Kyuubi. Let me, at least, die, knowing that I saved one of my friends. What? No! You will die even sooner. Don't stop me, Kyuubi. I can't die in peace, knowing you are going to die with me. Using the last ounce of strength he had, he moved his right arm up and grabbed the slip of paper holding the greater demon back. With a simple tug, he pulled it off and slowly drifted into unconsciousness. Back outside the mindscape, Pain looked positively insane. Here we go! I'll have the last bijou in a matter of impossible, yelled Pain as he looked at Naruto. Naruto's shirt ripped off, revealing his glowing seal. The seal grew bright red as it started to grow cracks around the edges. Quickly, the cracks melded into one as the seal glowed a bright white. The seal shattered, and within moments, red chakra swirled around the blonde. The chakra then solidified and manifested into a large fox-like shape. Pain stared in horror and fear. The killing intent coming off the manifestation froze him to the spot. Finally, there stood Kyuubi, in all her nine-tailed glory. Before Pain knew what had happened, Kyuubi swiped a claw at him, slicing his upper body clean in half. His legs fell to the ground motionless, and the upper half started to literally melt from the heat. Blood flew everywhere as the body finally caught fire, and their limbs all ended up charred bones. He uttered his last fading words. My dream, shat. Teared came the last words of the upper half. Kyuubi looked at the dead body before turning back to her former jailer. She reverted into her human form as she stared at him. She looked about his age with a large red and black robe. Her wild red hair reached down her back and her eyes were slitted and crimson red. Near her rear were 9 swaying tails, each red-orange in color with white tips. She knelt down before her fallen comrade as tears well up in her eyes. Why? Why did you save me? Kyuubi reached down to wipe some blood off of Naruto's face. As she touched his face, she felt it. A heartbeat sent off a small charge. She looked shocked but quickly analyzed him. He was still breathing, albeit barely. He's still alive. I gotta save him before he dies. What to do? What to do? I got it. It will take all the power I have, but... Kyuubi stood up and gathered every ounce of chakra she had in her system. Since she had literally unlimited chakra, it was a lot. As she formed the chakra into her hand, the very space around it started to distort and bend. Such power in one place could rip a hole in the very fabric of time. She did just that. Kami Jutsu, Jukenhanten. God technique. Time reversal, yelled Kyuubi as a hole appeared into the very air. Kyuubi quickly grabbed Naruto's body and jumped into the vortex as the world around it started to distort. Flashback/dream no jutsu. Naruto ran to the destroyed hospital. He zoomed through as he passed doorway after doorway. He stopped at one room and opened it. Sakura was on a bed with 3 swords protruding out of her back while her blood piled on the floor. Her eyes were dull as blood seeped through her teeth. Looking to his left, Naruto spotted Hinata. Her eyes equally dull as hundreds of shuriken and kunai were lodged in her back. Her blood noisily dripping in the puddle below her. Naruto nearly puked at the sight. Naruto ran out of the room to another door which was knocked off its hinges. Naruto looked inside and saw his foster mother. Tsunade had blood spilling out of her neck as her head was on the floor 10 feet away from her body. To her right was Ino, eyes glazed over, possibly due to the fact that half her head was missing. She apparently had a bomb in her face. Naruto did puke this time. Fast forward, the academy. I was also destroyed in the attack. He rushed to the old school, running down the hallways until he reached a familiar classroom. He walked in to find Irika, sliced clean in half in a horizontal manner. His lower half was oozing his life fluids as his intestines spilled out. His upper half was in worse shape. His face was contorted in a look of fear. Naruto looked to the other side of the classroom to see a dead genius. Shikamaru was dead on the ground, half his body was missing as though something ate it. His face saw contorted in more of a look of pain instead of fear. Naruto ran out and opened the room next door. Inside was Kiba, also looking like something ate him. He had a large chunk missing out of his side as his guts were spilling out with the crimson fluid. Naruto spotted Shino, who looked completely unharmed. Naruto picked up his body to inspect it but turned away a second later. Shino's insides were completely destroyed. They appeared to have blown up without damaging the skin. Fast forward, Naruto was pissed. They attacked again, while everyone was attending a funeral. Don't they have any shame? Naruto looked sadly at his last companions. He picked up Lee's body and placed it near Neji and Tenten's. Gaara was covered in his own sand while his siblings looked mutilated. Naruto turned away, ready to bury them, when an explosive note hidden within the bodies detonated. A resounding blast and shockwave tore apart the bodies and made it rain blood around Naruto. Naruto moved to the left as Sasuke's arm fell where he was originally standing. He felt his own tears as he fell to his knees in despair. Ah! Screamed Naruto as he was awoken from a nightmare. Naruto tried to clear his head from the memories as he looked around. He was back in his rundown apartment. This confused him completely. Wasn't he dying a minute ago? His instincts told him to go to the bathroom. He walked into the small room and looked in the mirror. What he saw shocked and amazed him. Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto, age 24, Rokudame Hokage, foster son of the Godame, biological son of the Yondaime, most powerful Hokage ever, was 12 again. Wah! Yelled Naruto once again as he gaped at the mirror. Kit? Kit! You're awake again, said Kyubi happily from inside her cage. What's going on? Why am I not dead? Why are you still in the cage? Why am I 12 again? Naruto mentally yelled. I saved you, of course. Why? I never did anything great for you. You tried to save me even when you were dying. I couldn't let you die. Oh, how did you do it? I used every ounce of power I had in my possession to send us back in time. You now have a new chance at life. Wow, unlimited chakra in one place must be powerful. Won't you be unhappy living in that sewer I call my mind? I can endure it. As for the whole sewer thing, you know you can change it, right? I mean, it is part of your own mind. I never thought about that. Hold on a minute. With that said, Naruto sat on his toilet, seat down of course, and entered his meditative state. In seconds he entered his mindscape. He saw the all too familiar sewer lines and the annoying dripping. He looked up to see a huge cage with a seal in the middle with a slip of paper labeled seal on it. He looked into the bars to see Kyubi in her human form. The only difference is that she was now Naruto's age of 12, but she still had the robes and tails. Her voice even sounded childish. Hey Kyubi. How are you? Naruto waved at her. When in the mindscape, Kyubi will be talking normally. I'm just fine, Naruto. You gonna change this dump? Kyubi replied, waving back. Yeah. Is there anything I can't change? Asked the blonde as he pondered. The only restrictions in all of this is that the seal must be there, although you can change its shape, and those pipes, which can also change shape, explained the vixen as she pointed them out. Why the pipes? They represent your chakra coils. They don't have to be pipes, but you can conceal them or make them look like something else, except it needs to run around your mind. Naruto thought of what to change the area into for a moment. He finally had an idea. Suddenly the room transformed from a dark, dank sewer to something that resembled a 5-star hotel luxury suite. There was a large king-sized bed with red covers and the pillows were orange with a fox's head on each of them. There was a carpet that was also red and furry which showed a full-body fox. There was a small black mini-fridge with a bunch of snacks and drinks. All hail the mini-fridge. Over to the other side of the room was a large comfortable-looking couch which could seat at least 5 people and another smaller couch that could seat a couple. There was a small glass table in front of the couches, and a little away from there was a cabinet with a large flat-screen TV hanging above said cabinet. Back to Naruto and Kyubi. Behind them was a patio with 2 fold-up chairs with a table and umbrella stand in between them. There was also a grill and many types of flowers ranging from daisies, to lilies, to roses, and more. The view was of an ocean which could be heard. The waves were seen crashing next to the shore. Back inside, there was another door which led to a luxurious bathroom. The walls were completely marble white with gold stripes along the top and bottom edges. The bathtub looked perfect for a full-body bubble bath and looked as though it could hold 2 people. Note to self, use that later. The cabinets inside held a bunch of shampoos and perfumes. There was a grand mirror that stood erected into the wall. There was a small tall rack with 2 towels. One was blue and red hers and the other was red and red his. Even the toilet looked fancy since it was made of marble also. Naruto had also changed the seal. Instead of a small sheet of paper, he made it into a marble statue of himself in a nice guy pose. At this Kyubi scoffed. She spoke in Naruto's ear. He blushed for a few seconds and she just winked. A second later the statue transformed. This time it showed Kyubi in Naruto's arms giving him a kiss on the cheek, and he had his arm around Kyubi's waist. He was smiling with a blush on his cheeks. All in all, Kyubi's pad looked sweet. Is that better, Kyubi? Asked Naruto as he was still blushing about the statue. Yep. This place looks amazing, yelled Kyubi as she dived into the bed. She gave out a content sigh as she felt the featherlight mattress. She got up and rushed to the patio as Naruto watched amused. Wow, I can even feel the heat from the fake sun. Looks like I can even tan in here. Glad you like it so much. Well, thanks for this. If you excuse me, I'm going to take a bath then sleep for about a month. A month? Well, I just used every bit of power I had, so yep. Wait, before I go I have a few questions. Okay, what? Well, what time period is this? I mean, I am 12 so I could be anywhere. I'm pretty sure this is the day you paint those faces on that mountain. Do I still have to act like a dove? I think you should. Darn. How about my jutsu and everything? Do I still have them? Since they require knowledge about them, yes? Since you still remember everything from before, you should still have your perfect chakra control, your jutsu arsenal, and your knowledge of almost anything. Unfortunately, this body of yours had only 5% of your 24-year-old body, and the strength is almost 3%. Holy crap! I'm that weak! Man, fusing with you all those years ago or soon to happen really boosted my power. Well, the chakra came from my power. The whole super-inhuman strength was all you. I don't even have the strength in my human form to move the Hokage mountain like you did that one time. Oh yeah, that was funny. I did it to piss off the council after they told me they might ban ramen. Alright, now good night. Good night. Naruto was about to leave, but Kyubi caught his hand and kissed him on the cheek. Before he could react, she kicked him out of his mind and blocked the doorway. What the? Said Naruto as he got off the toilet. He shrugged off the shock and proceeded to brush his teeth. He then ran back to his room to change into something. He opened his closet to find numerous, hideous, orange jumpsuits. Damn it. I forgot that those damn villagers still won't let me shop for normal clothes. I swear they were trying to get me killed. I'm surprised they didn't just give me something even uglier that spelled out "Here I am. Please kill me." In bright bold letters. Naruto sighed as he dug through his closet to see if he had anything else. He started feeling depressed when he kept finding nothing. Right before he gave up, he noticed a small box in the corner. He opened it to find a different set of outfits. On the box's top, there was a note. He read it aloud to himself. Dear Naruto, here is a set of new clothes for you to wear since those orange jumpsuits look hideous. I'll have to try to find a way to stop those store clerks from doing that. Signed, the Sandaime Hokage. Naruto smiled as he read it. Naruto took out the clothes in the box and tried them on. He put on a crimson t-shirt that was a little too small and clung to him. It showed off his nice build, which was usually hidden behind the puffy jacket. He put on the pants, which were black cargo-type pants that had holsters on the sides for shurikens and kunai. He found a pair of black boots which looked a lot like the ones he will wear in 3 years except smaller. He found some black fingerless gloves that looked like Kakashi's except that the both went up his arms slightly, making it reach halfway to his elbows. He decided not to wear the goggles he wore before and noticed the can of paint on the floor. He smirked. He still secretly loved pranks, and over the years, his pranks started turning sadistic like Anko's. He smirked again as he picked up the paint and the brush on top. "Hey! Get back here, brat!" yelled the Chunin as he ran after what looked like a red and yellow blur. "Ha! That prank never gets old," laughed Naruto as he glided down the streets. Naruto in his later years invented a wind jutsu that let him glide inches off the ground, which with a little more wind can propel him forward without worrying about the friction on the ground, and the air friction that he would have met is negated with his wind manipulation. Naruto never finished this jutsu, unfortunately, because he gave it up after swearing revenge. He still used the incomplete form to move faster than Lee without his weights, and with 2 gates open. The complete form of the jutsu would have let him actually fly through the air on wind currents. Naruto was speeding down the street using the technique. He swerved around people, spun around corners, and blew up many dresses along the way. As he rounded another corner, he was caught by a hand on his collar. The sudden stop unfortunately caused many problems. The wind under his shoes blew out of control without its master and kicked up a mini hurricane down the street. The person holding him gaped at this. "Naruto? What the hell was that?" asked a Chunin with a scar along his nose and his hair tied up much like a certain lazy genius. "I'll give you 3 guesses who that is." Naruto looked up to see his former teacher. He didn't change at all, as he still wore the Chunin vest and the same Konoha shinobi attire of light green. Naruto's mind suddenly went blank. Images of his dead and bleeding body flashed through his mind. He was having a small mental breakdown. He yelled as he slapped Iruka's hand away. Iruka looked shocked and concerned as the blonde knocked him away and backed up against the wall. He could see fear, sadness, grief, and overall regret in his eyes. This concerned him greatly because usually he showed a false bravado. Iruka was one of the few people who had ever seen through Naruto's facade in life. He always worried over the boy, but this was new to him. "Naruto, is something wrong?" asked the teacher, his voice showing signs of concern. "Iruka-sensei. Is that why you?" said Naruto, his voice slightly high-pitched. "No more ghosts from the past. No more ghosts from the past. No more hosts from the past. Oh, of course it's me. Who did you think I was?" continued Iruka as he watched the boy visibly stop shaking. "Dear Kami, thank you. He's alive! He's alive! Ha ha ha!" thought Naruto. "Naruto? Oh, sorry, Iruka-sensei," Naruto answered, his voice back to normal. "What was that about?" asked the Chunin as he saw Naruto's eyes return to their slightly dull expression. "Oh, I saw a horror movie last night, and it freaked me out. Last night I had a nightmare that you died, and it seemed real that I lied." Naruto. Alright, I get it," chuckled the Chunin. "I think we should head to class now." Iruka couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong with Naruto, so he just filed it away in his mind for later. Naruto, on the other hand, was looking relieved that he bought the story. They both made their way back to the academy silently. When they got to the classroom, Iruka opened the door to see the class. There weren't many yet, so that meant Naruto must have been a little early. He walked into the room. A few people stared at him. It took a couple seconds to figure out it was him from the lack of orange. Hinata was blushing madly at seeing Naruto. She thought he looked very nice in that shirt. Naruto sat down in the seat right next to Sasuke, who looked at him for a couple seconds before silently admitting that Naruto's appearance did in fact change and that it was not an imposter, and turning his head away. Shikamaru, who had been napping until Iruka came in, put his head back down after staring at Naruto. Shuji just ate his chips as usual, and Shino was Shino. Naruto ignored everything as more people filed in. Suddenly he started counting down out loud, causing many people to stare at him like he was stupid. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. "Here they come," said Naruto as the door crashed open. Ino and Sakura ran into the room in their usual daily argument as to who got there first. They continued arguing and ignored everything around them. The people who had been watching Naruto as he started his countdown started snickering. Naruto started counting down again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Naruto counted as he covered his ears from the sound blast he was about to hear and closed his eyes. "Naruto! How dare you sit next to Sasuke-kun?" yelled Ino, Sakura, and the Sasuke-kun is so cool fan club. At this everyone started laughing except Sasuke, who was actually chuckling slightly. Naruto cringed slightly from the glares. Sasuke decided to do him a favor for the entertainment. "Hush up. I think the dobe can sit here for at least today," said Sasuke coolly. The fan club and its leaders shattered and turned to dust and blew away with the wind before reforming again with chibi tears. Naruto looked over at the boy questioningly. "You just saved me from a whole day of that," said Sasuke as he pointed at the fan club. Naruto smiled as Iruka stepped up in front of the class. Immediately everyone shut up. Alright class? Today I want you to perform the Henji no Jutsu. If you don't know what that jutsu is by now, then stop reading. For those of you who still want to read anyway, it's the transformation jutsu. I will call you all up to Henji into a perfect copy of myself. First up is a Kimichi Chuji. Everyone took their turns until finally, Uzumaki Naruto, called Iruka. As Naruto walked up to the front, many people started to snicker at him. He got angry for a moment before mentally slapping on the facade he usually wore and smiled with his eyes closed so as to show it was completely lifeless. Iruka did not notice this, but he did notice the evil glint in Naruto's eyes as he prepared for his jutsu. Fine then. If they want a show, I'll give them a show. Try on my Oroku no Jutsu, sexy jutsu, for size, thought Naruto mischievously. Naruto was too busy thinking as he accidentally started using one-handed seals. Only Iruka, Sakura, and Sasuke noticed. In a puff of smoke, Naruto reappeared as a girl with long pigtails. Every single guy, save Sasuke, all fainted from blood loss, except Sasuke, who was able to suppress it and get a small nosebleed. The girls didn't even bother to kick Naruto's this time because they were too busy staring at Sasuke, who in their words, is a shining example of how men should act. Naruto returned to normal and started laughing. Ha ha ha. I didn't know Iruka-sensei was a... laughed Naruto. That isn't funny, Naruto. You are going to clean the monument for this, yelled Iruka, his head 10 times larger. Everyone laughed at his expense except for Sasuke and Sakura. Did Naruto just do a perfect henge? Sure, it was completely ed, but doing the opposite sex is supposed to be hard, thought Sakura. Naruto just did one-handed seals. The dobe shouldn't be able to do that, thought Sasuke. I think Naruto is hiding something, they both thought at once. Sasuke noticed Sakura staring at Naruto, obviously deep in thought. He walked over to her and poked her shoulder as she looked at him confused slightly. Hey Sakura, did you notice the dobe doing perfect one-handed seals? Whispered Sasuke. I noticed it too. Not only that, but he did a perfect henge. We haven't seen him do one before. Besides, henge was a girl, which is harder for guys to do, said Sakura. I know, you think he's only pretending to be dumb? Asked Sasuke. Are you concerned? Asked Sakura suspiciously. And no. I just wondered if he might have a good training program or something, said Sasuke. Should we spy on him or something? Asked Sakura. Maybe. Alright, I'll meet you after school, said Sasuke. Did Naruto just get me an almost date with Sasuke-kun? Oh well. I got a date. I'll see you there, said Sakura. Later that day, right before the bell rang, Iruka told the class that the jonin exams were happening tomorrow. The bell rang right as he finished, and he grabbed Naruto to get him to clean the monument. Sasuke and Sakura met in the schoolyard. Naruto and Iruka left for the mountain as Sasuke and Sakura followed. Then waited until Naruto and Iruka were done. Meanwhile, Naruto was busy cleaning the monument. Sigh, I forgot to use water-based paint to clean these easily, mumbled Naruto. You shouldn't have used any paint on the monuments. Why would you do that? To get back at the villagers, grumbled Naruto. Iruka looked saddened by this as an Uchiha and a Haruna were listening intently. Naruto, it's not your fault, said Iruka sadly. Well, they are the ones that still hate me. But one day, I'll show them all, yelled Naruto as he scrubbed angrily. Iruka only sighed while Sasuke and Sakura looked at each other. They both shrugged and listened a little more. I know, Naruto. You're gonna be Hokage and then everyone will recognize you, said Iruka. Not just that, Iruka-sensei. I will also make sure the lives of all my friends are happy as well, smiled Naruto, calming down considerably. Really? You never mentioned that part before. Well, I thought about it. I can't hate the whole village. Just the ones that hate me, answered Naruto. Right. Well, anyway, Naruto, finish cleaning and I'll treat you to some ramen. Alright. I forgot that I only got ramen because of this paint, thought Naruto. He finished up and left with Iruka. Sasuke and Sakura followed. They watched and listened as Naruto and Iruka talked about becoming a jonin and stuff. Naruto then left to head home. He walked as Sasuke and Sakura followed. As they followed, they noticed something strange. The civilians around him all stared at him like he was dirt, or something lower. They glared at him and even whispered some stuff. Look at that demon. Who let him get new clothes? Asked some random villager. I don't know. Damn demon lovers, whispered another man. Sasuke and Sakura had heard and were completely stupefied. They watched to see Naruto's reaction. Naruto stopped for a second and looked slightly sad but continued walking. The two looked at him as his shoulders looked a little hunched. Suddenly a drunk person ran up to Naruto. Hey! Demon spawn! Get over here! I'll teach you a lesson or two. The man slurred. He ran at Naruto and slammed a fist into Naruto's face. Naruto didn't even defend from the blow. Sasuke and Sakura gasped as they saw it. Before they could stop it, a whole mob appeared. They suddenly remembered that if an academy student attacked any civilians that are not either drunk or dangerous, they can't fight back. They watched in silent horror as they saw Naruto get the crap beat out of him. They looked relieved as Umbu showed up. That didn't last long as he kicked Naruto in the gut while laughing. Eventually the crowd dispersed and left Naruto in the street. The two were about to go down and help, but before they could, none other than the Hokage himself ran up to the boy. He picked up Naruto and ran off to Naruto's apartment. Sasuke and Sakura followed silently as they watched the Hokage enter his shitty apartment. Through the window they saw him place Naruto in the bed and leave silently crying. Sasuke and Sakura felt concerned and ran into his apartment. They went into his room to see the damage. Naruto had 2 black eyes, a bunch of bruises on his cheeks and arms, his clothes were ripped, his lip was bleeding, he had gashed from what looked like knife wounds, and his leg looked bent in the wrong place. They nearly puked. They were about to leave, but suddenly Naruto called to them. "I know you saw that," said Naruto softly. "And Naruto, you're okay," said Sakura, amazed he can even talk. "Don't worry, Sakura-chan. I've had worse," smiled Naruto, showing he had a couple teeth missing. "Worse? They did that before?" asked Sasuke, trying to sound uncaring but failing quite miserably. "Yeah, I know you two have been following me," said Naruto. "Don't worry. I can't help it if you are curious. As a matter of fact, I really wanted to tell you why they did it." "Why?" asked Sakura. "I can't tell you." "What? Why?" yelled Sasuke, losing his cool. "It's one of Konoha's secrets. An SS rank secret." "I am not sure if you are ready," said Naruto sadly. "We are. We can't not know what the hell they just did," cried Sakura, thoroughly feeling horrible at seeing that. "Alright. Seeing as any minute now I might faint from the pain, I'll tell you one thing. Tomorrow is the jonin exam. I'm gonna fail. After that, watch me and never try to stop me from doing anything. Just watch and listen," said Naruto. "Alright, are you gonna be okay? I mean, a leg doesn't usually bend in that direction. And I don't think your hand is supposed to be able to go back that far," asked Sasuke as he watched Naruto's leg twitch. "Yeah, now if you excuse me," Naruto fainted. "I think we should go now, Sakura," said Sasuke as he grabbed Sakura's shoulder. Sakura walked away shakily as they both headed home, thoughts filled by the blonde enigma known as Naruto. Why is he hated? What did he do? They pondered that for most of the night. Unknown to them, their perception about him started to change from light annoyance to heavy guilt. They waited until tomorrow to see things unfold. Naruto woke up that morning completely healed. His arm wasn't bent and neither was his leg. His eyes weren't black, his teeth were back, and all the cuts were gone. Shit. I better prepare myself for one long day, thought Naruto. He went to the bathroom and came back to put on a second set of clothes from the old man. He silently thanked the sensei for getting him 3 sets as he ate breakfast and rushed out the door. He noticed that the sun was kind of high, indicating he might be a little late, so he sped up using the jutsu he now calls Kaze Tuza, air current, since he is literally riding on the wind. He shoots off towards the academy in record time. "Naruto, you're just in time," smiled Irika. "Yep," smiled Naruto. "Alright class, since everyone is here, let us start the exams," said Irika. Hours later. "I'm sorry Naruto, you failed again," said Irika with a sigh. "Ah man," said Naruto as he ran out, faking some tears. Mizuki in the corner just smirked. Little did he know his whole world was gonna go down the gutter. He left the room to comfort Naruto. Naruto meanwhile was sitting on the swings, pretending to be depressed. Up in the tree was Sasuke and Sakura, who were obediently following him around. After the rest of the children left, Mizuki walked out into the open, ready to scam Naruto. "Hello Naruto," said Mizuki, trying to look sad. "Hello Mizuki-sensei," acted Naruto as he made the perfect depressed voice. "I heard you failed again." Well, I felt a little bad. I think the school is just trying to hold you back." "Tell you what, did you know there was a second test to make jonin?" asked Mizuki, grinning broadly on the inside. Sasuke and Sakura watched silently. Both of them had the same thoughts in their minds. "There isn't any other test as far as I know about," were their thoughts as Mizuki kept talking. "There is?" asked Naruto, faking happiness. "Why yes. It's pretty hard, but I think you can do it," smiled Mizuki. "What? What?" Naruto practically jumped up and down. As a matter of fact, he did just for the effects. "Calm down, boy. The test is that you must steal the forbidden scroll in the Hokage's office and learn one jutsu from it. Do it tonight, and meet me at this location, said Mizuki, showing him a map to some clearing in the woods. Thanks, Mizuki-sensei, yelled Naruto as he ran off. Ha ha ha, stupid kid doesn't know what hit him, laughed Mizuki as he walked off. That night Naruto was standing in the clearing reading the forbidden scroll. He was not reading to train, of course. In the future he not only learned every jutsu in it but found out the scroll belongs to him by birthright. He was just reading it for the effect. Sasuke and Sakura were watching from the trees. They waited, and waited, and waited. Damn, what's taking him so long? Yelled Naruto, looking up in the trees. Naruto! What do you think you're doing? Yelled Iruka as he appeared from the woods. Iruka-sensei! Yelled Naruto. Why did you steal the forbidden scroll? You could get executed for that. But Mizuki-sensei told me I could graduate if I learned a jutsu from this scroll, said Naruto, waiting for what happened next. And Mizuki? Gaped Iruka. Suddenly Iruka heard them. The whistling of kunai and shuriken in the air. He pushed Naruto out of the way and a load of the small weapons slashed through him. Ha ha ha, I'm surprised you found him, Iruka, said Mizuki as he appeared in a tree branch not too far from Sasuke and Sakura. And Mizuki-sensei? What's going on? Yelled Naruto, his acting flawless. Sasuke and Sakura listened intently, keeping their promise not to be shown unless he says so. Of course they almost broke the promise seeing as Iruka just got attacked. Ha ha ha, you want the truth? I'll tell you the whole truth. Everything about why people hate you so much. People like Iruka. Mizuki practically spat at him. Mizuki! No! You know it's forbidden! Yelled Iruka. A law was passed 12 years ago stating that we cannot tell him or anyone of the younger generation, started Mizuki, ignoring Iruka. I'm warning you, Mizuki! Yelled Iruka. Naruto was acting frightened while Sasuke and Sakura suddenly stiffened. They now knew why Naruto told them to follow if they wanted to find out. He knew this would happen. They silently watched and listened. 12 years ago, on October 10th, a great beast attacked Konoha. That beast was the Kyubi no Kitsune, the nine-tailed fox. The beast was so powerful that it nearly single-handedly wiped out Konoha. After many hours of fighting, we nearly lost had it not been for the greatest of the Hokages, Yondaime himself. As you know, people have said that the Yondaime killed the beast. Well, that is a lie. He couldn't kill something immortal, so he sealed the Kyubi inside a newborn child. Do you know who that is? Mizuki asked. Sasuke and Sakura gasped. Everything fell into place. The heated glares, the whispers, the threats, and even the beatings. They knew why Naruto had been alone for so long. Sasuke understood why Naruto knew so much about loneliness, and Sakura now noticed the facade Naruto wore his whole life. Naruto suddenly laughed. It was not his usual cheery fake one. No, it was cold, ruthless, almost bloodthirsty. His very voice sent chills down everyone's spines. Ha ha! Mizuki, you fool. I already know all about that. I know why people have hated me. It's quite hard not to. There were so many signs. The comments about Demon, my own birthday was October 10th, even the whiskers on my cheeks. Everything was known, laughed Naruto. So you knew, huh? You knew you were the Demon Fox, yelled Mizuki, clearly shaken about the news, so he threw a Fuma Shuriken at Naruto. Iruka stopped caring about the fact that Naruto knew and jumped, trying to block the weapon. He closed his eyes expecting pain, but it never came. He opened his eyes to see Naruto standing over him, the shuriken caught in his gloved hand. His eyes looked absolutely horrifying. Naruto spoke in a voice that promised pain. No one attacks the people precious to me, said Naruto calmly as he sent a huge wave of killing intent at Mizuki, who froze. Sasuke and Sakura looked at the whole scene in shock. Suddenly Naruto looked in their direction. Sasuke. Sakura. Get behind Iruka now! Yelled Naruto. Iruka looked shocked at finding out there had been other witnesses, much less young ones. Sasuke and Sakura did not hesitate as they jumped from the foliage and stood near their teacher. You heard right? Naruto looked at them. They nodded. Tell me what you think later. I have a traitor to take care of, said Naruto as he turned back to the now unfrozen teacher. You think you can defeat me, demon spawn? Ha! You can't even make a bunshin, much less beat me, yelled Mizuki as he prepared another Fuma Shuriken. Ha ha ha, you don't even know. I have been holding back for years, yelled Naruto as he let his chakra flare. Mizuki looked horrified as he saw visible, blue, raw chakra. They covered him in wisps looking like confetti at a New Year's party. I'm not even using demon chakra. Now prepare for pain. Kaju Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Multiple Shadow Clone Jutsu. Yelled Naruto. In front of everyone's eyes, there poofed over 1,000 shadow clones. Naruto's perfect chakra control helped a lot in this. Sasuke, Sakura, Iruka, and Mizuki were mind-boggled. The three behind Naruto almost felt pity for Mizuki knowing he was on the wrong end of the clones. Almost being the most important word. Mizuki was so afraid that he was so scared that my shit won't even come out. Look. The clones all jumped from their positions, attacked him, and beat the shit out of him. They heard Mizuki's screams pierce the night as he was getting pummeled in almost sadistic ways. After the fighting died down, the clones all disappeared and Naruto turned towards his comrades. So, you all okay? Asked Naruto. Why yeah, answered Iruka. You heard about the fox, right? Asked Naruto towards the other two. Yes. They both replied. And? Continued Naruto. We don't care. You don't deserve that kind of treatment. You are constantly saving their lives by holding that creature within you, said Sasuke. Yeah. Besides, we both know that you are one of the nicest people we have ever met, said Sakura. Thank you too. You have no idea what this means to me, smiled Naruto. Iruka smiled happily at seeing Naruto make new friends. He chuckled as he took off his hatayite. Naruto, I think you deserve this, said Iruka, handing him the headband. Thank you, Iruka-sensei, said Naruto as he tied it to his head. Everyone started laughing as the tension was relieved from that one act. Now if you three don't mind. Naruto fainted from exhaustion. Heh, he must have had a tiring day, smiled Iruka. Yeah, well, who's gonna bring him to his home? Asked Sasuke. I'll do it. You two should get back home. You guys have to meet your jonin senseis and get a team tomorrow, said Iruka. Alright, see you, Iruka-sensei. Tell Naruto-kun that me and Sasuke-kun will stick with him no matter what, smiled Sakura. Sasuke just nodded. Iruka smiled, truly glad that people his own age finally accepted him. Tomorrow was going to be quite a day. Iruka picked up Naruto as he prepared to leave. Umbu stopped him before he could go. Iruka. What happened here? Asked the man with the duck mask. Mizuki is a traitor. He tried to trick Naruto here into helping him get the scroll before he tried to run away. Naruto here subdued him as I was injured, reported Iruka. The demon brack, said Duck as he was hit with a fist in this mask. Don't you dare call him a demon. He tried to save all of you, yelled Iruka. Why you? How dare you hit me? The demon brack, said Duck once more as another Umbu hit him full on the face once more. You baka! What do you think you're doing? He saved the village, yelled a woman who had purple hair and a trench coat. Oh, Enko-san. Thank you, said Iruka. No problem. I couldn't let him get treated like that. So it's true that he saved us? Asked Enko. Yeah, he did, smiled Iruka as he looked at him. That demon brack. Started Duck again but was hit full in the face a third time by a certain man with a mask over his bottom half of his face, and his left eye was covered. Ah, Kakashi! Thank you for that, said Iruka. No problem, Iruka. Hello, Enko, said Kakashi. Hello? You're on time, think time has, said Enko. Grr! He must have you brainwashed. That damn demon brack! Yelled Duck as he was once more smashed in the face. His mask seriously cracked now. This is turning into quite the party, isn't it? Said a black-haired woman with red eyes and a strange dress. Ah, Kurenai! Good to see you, said Kakashi and Iruka. Kure-chan! Yelled Enko as she glomped the Genjutsu mistress and rubbed her face against her accessories. Haha, hello, Enko, smiled Kurenai as Kakashi started giggling perversely. Damn it! Stop hitting me! All I did was say demon brack! Yelled Duck as his face met a fist. Yosh! That child's flames of youth burned brightly. Yelled a man with bowl-cut hair, dead caterpillars for eyebrows, and a suit that made Naruto's orange jumpsuit look like formal attire. Hello, Guy, chorused everyone, all sweat dropping at him. Yosh! Kakashi! My rival! How are you? Yelled Guy. Hi. I'm fine, Guy, sighed Kakashi. That damn demon brack! Started Duck once more as another fist found it was towards his face. Okay, how many times did that make? Asked a man with a cigar in his mouth. Asuma! I think that was the 6th time, answered Iruka. Okay, this group is seriously getting big, said Enko. Yes, said Kakashi. Our youth burns brightly. Yelled Guy as everyone continued to sweat drop. Ha! That's everyone. Now I can say demon brack! Started Duck, but this time he was hiding hard enough to completely shatter his mask. I see everyone has found Naruto, said an old man in his 60s smoking a pipe. Hokage-sama, said everyone. Yeah, it's me. Now, who's gonna get Mizuki? Asked Sandame. I'll get him, said Anko as she prepared to leave. Damn demon brack, yelled Duck as he was finally hit into unconsciousness by all 8 people. Anko left to get Mizuki as Iruka handed Naruto to the Hokage. He then explained what had happened after Anko came back with Mizuki, tied by snakes. Thank you, Iruka. You are all dismissed. I need to bring Naruto home and some of you have a job tomorrow, said the professor. Hi, they all cried as they leaped away. Ha ha ha, Naruto, you just don't cease to amaze me, he said as he also headed out. Duck woke up to find out that everyone left him. Finally, damn demon brack, yelled Duck as the branch he was on break, and he fell to the ground on his head. Ugh. I give up. Oh hey. Oh make. Gaara meets Zabuza. This runt is the Kazekage? Yelled a familiar missing rain meme. Who are you calling a runt, Frankenstein? Said a certain redhead. Frankenstein? You're one to talk to, you emo raccoon. Glared at Zabuza. Raccoon? Oh hell nah. Shut up, you gay swordsman. Yelled Gaara. Gay? I'm not gay. Yelled Zabuza. Right. You and Haku are so gay, said Gaara calmly. What about you and Naruto, huh? Smirked Zabuza. What? He's only a friend. You're not one to talk anyway, you eyebrowless freak. Yelled Gaara, lightning shooting between them. Eyebrowless. You can't talk either. You don't have eyebrows like me. Yelled Zabuza. Good point. What happened to yours? Asked Gaara. I think some guy wearing green spandex and a bowl cut stole them. He kept saying something about youth. Said Zabuza. Funny, I swear that happened to me, said Gaara. Somewhere in Konoha. HCHO. Sneezed Lee and Guy. OMG. Your eyebrows fell off. Yelled Tenten. OMFG. Yelled Niji. They both ran away screaming as Lee and Guy picked up their eyebrows, put glue on the back, and put them back on. Naruto woke up in his bedroom feeling slightly groggy and disoriented. His eyes were a little blurry as he woke up. He looked at the ceiling, noticing something strange. He blinked a couple times as the blurriness faded away. He was in a hotel room for some reason. Damn, my head hurts. What happened? Mumbled Naruto as he continued to relax in the comfy bed. He suddenly remembered last night's events. Every moment replayed in his mind. He let out a small laugh as he remembered Mizuki's face after he beat the shit out of him. He decided not to worry as he fluffed his pillow. Funny thing was the pillow seemed to be moving. It felt as though it was breathing. Naruto closed his eyes, not caring. He turned his head to see. Kyubi? What the hell? Yelled Naruto as he jumped out of bed. He looked down at himself. He still had his clothes on. Oh, thank God. Mumbled Naruto as the vixen slept on. Good thing she won't wake up for another month. Man, she would kill me if that were to happen, mumbled Naruto. Naruto looked around to see that he was inside his own mind. He briefly wondered why it was inside his own mind. He shrugged as he opened the mini fridge and pulled out a can of Sprite. He opened it as he stared at Kyubi's sleeping form. This seems vaguely familiar. Where have I? Oh right. Thought Naruto. Flashback dude. Kyubi-chan, said Naruto as he stared at an older version of Kyubi's human form. Yes, Naruto-kun? Asked Kyubi as she was soaking her feet in a nearby lake. Do you think I deserve to be Rokudan? Asked Naruto, staring at the clouds. Why do you think that? Isn't that your dream? Asked the vixen as she stared at him with her blood-red eyes. Well, Akatsuki and Orochimaru are still out there. I think I would put Konohagakure in danger, sighed the blonde. Naruto-kun. What's wrong with you? You would be a great leader. Half the village now respects you. You brought back Sasuke after finding out his seal slowly wraps a person's soul in darkness, and freed him from it. You even can now, at the age of 19, control 7 of my tails. It usually takes until you are 22 to even that many. I think that is more than enough, reasoned Kyubi as she got out of the water and walked over to him. I have a bad feeling, that's all. I don't know why, but I think the people close to me are in danger. Mumbled Naruto as he sat up and leaned against a tree. Is this why you summoned me today? She asked. Partially, but mostly just to have a close friend to talk to, he said. Well, cheer up then. Here, I got a bottle of sake, she said as she unsealed a bottle of sake from a scroll in his backpack. Heh, I'm glad I decided to bring that, he said as he accepted the small saucer he was given. The two of them drank. They each poured a bit and chugged it down like seasoned alcoholics. Naruto was slightly tipsy without Kyubi inside him to purge the effects. Kyubi was also a little tipsy because she decided to not stop the effects on herself. "Ne, Kyubi-chan, what sake is this?" snickered the blonde. "I think it belonged to Tsunade." "I'm pretty sure she said something like it was very strong," slurred Kyubi. "She wasn't kidding," he mumbled as he took another swig. The two drank some more until finally they passed out. They didn't remember anything the next morning. Naruto woke up that morning inside a hotel. He looked around as his hangover finally kicked in. "Shit, that was some strong sake," mumbled Naruto. He closed his eyes to block the sun and laid back down on his amazingly soft pillows. He yawned slightly and prepared to doze off. Suddenly his eyes shot open to see that he was sleeping on Kyubi's well-sized bust. He jumped out of bed faster than when someone put dangos in front of Anko. He looked down at himself to see he was fully dressed. "Oh, thank God," whispered Naruto as he stared at Kyubi. "She would kill me for that, I think." Naruto got up and opened a seal as he grabbed a can of Sprite to try and ward off the hangover. "No more flashbacks for you. I stopped calling her Chan after my friends died. Maybe I should make it up to her somehow. I did treat her a little colder ever since they were slaughtered." Naruto thought of ways to make it up to his friend as he finished his Sprite. He decided to postpone it as he remembered something important. "Oh shit! My team is made today!" yelled Naruto as he left the room. "Naruto-kun," mumbled Kyubi as she twisted in her bed before falling back into a deep slumber. Naruto opened his eyes to see that he woke up at his usual time. He ran to his bathroom to start his new day. He did the usual and put on his third pair of clothes as he remembered to do the laundry that day. He ran out of the room, forgetting breakfast, and headed for the academy. Sakura's residence. Sakura woke up abruptly as sunlight hit her and a woman's voice yelled out. "Rise and shine, my little cherry blossom," yelled Harinosubi. "Rose, fitting name for a cherry blossom's mother, don't you think? MOM. Do you have to wake me up like this every day?" yelled Sakura as she fumed at her. "Sorry dear, I couldn't resist," giggled the pink-haired woman. "Ugh, how did Dad put up with you?" mumbled Sakura. "Easy, I just tuned it out," said Harino Dojo. "So by the way, what did you say?" yelled Subi as her mood did a complete 180. Dojo backed away slowly as he remembered that the females of the Harino clan always had emotional issues. Subi cracked her knuckles menacingly as her mind was contemplating many things. "He did not just say that," yelled inner Subi. "I think he just did. He is so gonna pay for this tonight," thought the real Subi. "Would you two get out of my room? You're embarrassing me already?" yelled Sakura. Dojo slowly backed out of the room, leaving the two fuming females. He sighed as he asked himself why he married her in the first place. It's always so nice when you're dating, but once you're married, BM. Right in the kisser, thought the brown-haired man as he walked down the stairs. Back with Sakura, she pushed her mom out of her room as she prepared for school. She went to the bathroom to freshen up. Half an hour later, yes, half an hour. "Seriously ladies, how do you spend so long in there?" She walked out and headed back to her room. She sat down in front of her mirror and started brushing her long hair. "I hope Sasuke-kun is put on my team. I would love to see the look on Inopig's face if I was on his team. Sasuke-kun is so dreamy. I know he will notice me now that I'm a kunoichi. I wonder what Naruto would do though. Did I just say Naruto? Oh right, last night, thought the kunoichi as she continued to brush her hair. Man, that was rough. I can't believe people could treat him like that, said inner Sakura. I know. It's so wrong to treat him like that for no reason. You do know that you were one of those people, right? Oh right. Man, now I'm guilty, thought Sakura as she put her brush down and looked in the mirror sadly. We could always start off clean. You know? Wipe the slate clean and start all over. Yeah, alright. From today onward, I will treat Naruto nicely, pumping her fist in the air. But do you think he will forgive you just like that? Her happiness deflated. Don't worry, I think he will forgive us. Unless we need to talk to Naruto when he was, you know, all dark and scary like that. Even I was scared shitless. I know. Did you hear him laugh at Mizuki-senna? Mizuki? It was so cold. Like he was letting out his pain. Seriously. I would not want to with him when he was like that. Well, he trusted us with that SS rank secret. I think he wanted to give me and Sasuke-kun a chance. Maybe. I guess so. I mean, he was always nice to us. He always cheered us up when Sasuke rejected us. Do you think he did that to prevent us from the pain? I never noticed that until now, and here I thought you were smart. Oh well, can't blame you. I don't even know why you got pissed when he flirted. He wasn't bad looking. As a matter of fact, he looked absolutely hot without the orange jumpsuit. Did you just say that? I know you didn't call him hot. I mean, come on. Sure, without his jacket you can see his well-toned body, and that chest, and those nice arms, and the legs, oh yes, those legs. What was I talking about again? Thought Sakura as she drooled slightly thinking about Naruto's legs. All I heard was the part about his really nice bod. I think I had better head to school. Sakura stopped chatting with herself as she picked up her hataite and left the room. She silently contemplated what she was thinking about. Naruto really isn't that bad, and oh, my heart belongs to Sasuke-kun. Even if he doesn't have those awesome legs. Did I just think that? Oh, who am I kidding, those legs were hot. Guess I am a leg woman after all, thought Sakura as she saw Ino and prepared for the confrontation. Uchiha complex Sasuke woke up to see his cold house. He silently walked to the restroom down the hall, ignoring the wind blowing through the empty streets. He could have sworn he saw a tumbleweed thing flying around. He sighed as he felt the emptiness of the place hit him. His encounter last night left him wondering about his life. He found the bathroom and brushed his teeth while he looked at himself in a mirror. Damn it. What have I been doing my whole life? Revenge on my brother? The DOB dash. Naruto never tried to kill the village. Does that mean I'm too weak to handle this minor setback in my life? I could rebuild the clan without killing him. I mean, he was my brother after all. Mumbled Sasuke to himself as he headed back to his room. He took out his usual clothing. He stared at it in wonder. Now that I take a look at this thing, it looks so emo. Oh well, who cares? What was I thinking about a second ago? Oh right, Naruto. Man, that was some news. Makes mine seem so petty. At least when I'm alone like this, the village likes me. He was beaten, tortured, and left for dead numerous times. I wonder what would have happened if he was a girl. Don't think about that. Holy crap, I thought about it. Damn, that would have been bad. Maybe I was wrong about him. He isn't weak. As a matter of fact, he is the strongest person I know. Able to withstand the glares and the hatred. It amazes me that he could hide behind that facade of smiles and cheer. How did I not even notice it? I, of all people, should have seen it. The forced smiles, that explains why when he smiles, he closes his eyes. You can fake a smile, but you can't fake it in your eyes. It's a window to your soul. The sadness, loneliness, hatred, pain, all showed last night. When he was laughing, the cold, ruthless laugh. I could see his eyes. Even without Sharingan, I could see it. Those blue eyes run deep. Like bottomless pits to be exact. Holding all the bottled up emotions, the Uchiha said to himself. Sasuke got up after putting on his clothes and took out the weapons on the racks of the Uchiha garage. He places a bunch of kunai and shuriken inside his small pouch and prepares to leave. He wandered around the complex as he headed for the gate. He looked to one stand in particular which belonged to his uncle and aunt. He remembered what Itachi did to them. He grew angry, but then he remembered Naruto. He never even knew what it was like to be loved. His anger melted to sadness, then to understanding. He knew what he would do. Starting today, I'll try to be his friend. This will be the first step to a better life, said Sasuke as he took a large step. Sasuke stepped on a particularly large rock and slipped. He fell flat on his face into the dirt. He grunted as he got up and brushed himself off. Okay, not that step. Heh heh, ha 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 ha, laughed Sasuke as he let loose some suppressed emotions and laughed it away. He felt a lot better than he had ever felt after his clan's death. He knew who he should thank and he hoped he would give him a chance. Sasuke ran off, his revenge slowly slipping away. Not completely, of course. There will always be small hatred, but he would not let it rule his life. Indeed, life was starting to look up for him. The academy. Naruto entered the classroom full of students. He looked immediately to see Sasuke and Sakura, who hadn't noticed him yet. He was about to call until, "Hey! What the hell is the dobe doing here?" yelled Kiba, Akamaru on his head. "If you must know, I passed," said Naruto, glaring at Kiba, which slightly unnerved him, seeing as Naruto never glares. "We all know you didn't pass. You don't belong in here," yelled Ino as she pointed at him. "Oh yeah. Well, I owe you," started Naruto, but he was interrupted. "Leave him alone, Ino pig," yelled Sakura as he glared at Ino. The class gasped as Sakura defended him. What the heck? Forehead? Why are you helping him? You know he's and started Ino, but she was also cut off. "I'll repeat what she said. Leave him alone," Yamanaka said Sasuke coolly. The class was left picking up their jaws at his comment. They were sure he would have been the first to tell him to leave. "Thank you too," said the blonde. "No problem, Naruto," Kun said the two of them as they stared at each other before looking back at Naruto. The class jaws checked into a hotel on the floor at that. Naruto smiled as he made his way over to the two and sat down next to Sakura. I hope you don't mind if I sit here, Sakura-chan. Sasuke-kun, said Naruto as he added the respectful suffix to Sasuke's name. Iruka walked into the classroom to see holes in the floor. Okay, who's the wise guy that broke the floors? Naruto? Asked Chunin. I swear it wasn't me, yelled Naruto, shocked that he was the prime suspect. Whatever you say. Okay class, today you will all be placed into 3-man cells with 1 jonin instructor. I will now call out the teams. Team 1, started Iruka as he called out names from a very long list. Students started moving around the room to be near their teammates. Finally Iruka got to the major teams. Team 7 will be Uzumaki Naruto, started Iruka. Naruto looked up at hearing his name. He knew who he was going to be paired with, but he wanted to see their reactions. Hareno Sakura, yay! Yelled Naruto, and to his, and everyone else's surprise, Sakura cheered too. And Sasuke Uchiha finished Iruka. Alright, yelled Naruto as he high-fived Sakura and even received a high-five from Sasuke to everyone's shock. Heh, not a bad team if I do say so myself, said Sasuke, smirking. Funny, here I thought you were going to say don't hold me back or something, said Naruto. I'm pretty sure you know that we both know that you aren't that weak, whispered Sakura. Ugh. How did Billboard Brow get into the same team as Sasuke-kun? Yelled Ino, fuming. Don't call Sakura-chan Billboard Brow, said Naruto, accidentally releasing a small wave of killing intent in his glare. Ino shut up immediately. Some of the others were amazed that someone got into to shut up for once, while a few more were trying to shake off the killing intent. Iruka shrugged off the wave, since the one he felt last night weighed almost 100-fold. He would know since he was standing right behind Naruto when he unleashed it. The teacher shattered the silence in the room by calling out the other teams. Team 8 will be Hyuga Hinata, Inuzuka Kiba, and Aburame Shino, called the teacher as the 3 students looked at each other. I didn't get the same team as Naruto-kun? At least they don't seem to hate him, thought Hinata. Yes. I got Hinata-chan. But goddammit, why the creepy guy? Shino scares me sometimes, thought Kiba as he stared at Aburame, who was silently staring back. And last but not least, Team 10 will be Yamanaka Ino, Naro Shikamaru. No! I have to be the laziest person ever? Ino Eda Shikamaru mumbled something about loud-mouthed, troublesome, blonde women, and Akimichi Chuji declared the Chunin. Chuji said nothing as he continued to eat his chips. He was glad to be with his childhood friend Shikamaru though. Same team with Shikaha? Ino's not bad either, thought Chuji as he chewed on a bag of chips. The fatty too? Ah man, thought Ino as she felt her head hit the table. Ino Shikacho Trio, huh? Thought Iruka as he told everyone their sensei's names. Team 7 sensei is Hataki Kakashi, Team 8 is with Yuhi Kurenai, and Team 10 is with Saratobi Asuma. Please wait until your teachers pick you up, said Iruka as he put his scroll down and sat at his table. Ha! Looks like I get to be with Sasuke-kun, Ino pig, yelled Sakura. I won't lose to you, forehead, yelled Ino as they faced each other. What happened to Billboard Brow? Afraid of your fellow blonde? Smirked Sakura as she pointed to Naruto. Who would be afraid of that dope? I'll still call you Bilboa, started Ino, but she felt another wave of killing intent and stopped again. Cha! Glad to have Naruto-kun as a friend. Heh, thought so, yelled the pink head as she walked away. Grr! Damn her! When did Naruto get so forceful? Oh well, it doesn't matter. I swear Sasuke-kun will be mine, thought Ino as she huffed and walked to her teammates as teams were leaving with their teachers. Hey guys, just in case you don't know, Kakashi-sensei is going to be at least 3 hours late, said Naruto as he looked at his friends. What do you mean 3 hours? Gaped Sakura. I think I've heard of him. He is never on time for anything. He shows up 2 to 3 hours late to anything other than a Hokage's order or an S-class mission, said their raven-haired friend as he searched through his memory. Wanna go do something while we wait? Asked Naruto. Like what? Wondered Sakura. How about a restaurant? I'll pay, said Naruto as he grabbed the 2 of them. Is it going to be Ichiraku ramen? Muttered Sakura. Nope. I can guarantee that you 2 will love it, smiled Naruto as he dragged them through the town. They all stopped in front of a large store called Konoha Delicacies. Sakura and Sasuke looked at it in confusion. I've never seen this place before, said Sasuke. They just made it apparently, said Sakura. This is a special place that serves all of Konoha's special foods. Ramen, onigiri, and sushi. Smirked at Naruto as he watched their reactions. Faster than Naruto could blink, both of his arms were behind his back and his 2 teammates were dragging him into the store. In his past life, Naruto discovered many things, his favorite being his two friends' favorite foods. Sakura had a sushi obsession that rivals even Naruto's. One time when she was eating, she told Naruto sushi is like life, it can be sweet, simple, bitter or complex. Many different things can change the flavor, like an event in your life can change everything. And most of all, law comes at you almost completely raw. Sushi is life in a small package. Naruto avoided her for 2 weeks after that comment. Another time, when he was dining with Sasuke to celebrate his promotion to Umbu captain, he was chowing down on onigiri like there was no tomorrow. He ate the small rice cakes faster than Naruto, and Anko could devour ramen and dango. After finishing, he told Naruto, onigiri is like little pieces of heaven in small packages. The white sweet rice represents harmony, the sweet filling is like the kindness of the angels, and the small bit of seaweed holding it together is the unity that is created from such things. Needless to say, Naruto never looked at the small rice cakes the same way, and Sasuke had sat down at a nice table while a waiter walked up to them. Welcome to Konoha Delicacies. How many I dash? I'm sorry, but he, points to Naruto, is not allowed, said a waiter as he glared at Naruto. He's with me. The name is Uchiha Sasuke, he said. Ah. Mr. Uchiha. You must have heard about us, said the waiter quite nervously. Yes. As a matter of fact, he recommended this place to me, said Sasuke as he pointed at Naruto. Oh. Well, I'm sorry. Please let me take your orders, said the waiter, obviously looking pained to apologize to the demon. I'll have all the sushi you have. Started Sakura. Get the onigiri. Mumbled Sasuke. Ramen. Yelled Naruto. Is that all? Asked the waiter. Get it here in 5 minutes, declared Sasuke. Alright, he said as he ran off to the kitchen. A couple seconds later, someone yelled about getting food for the last Uchiha. Exactly 5 minutes later, all their food came out. It was laid perfectly in a very neat arrangement. The manager himself walked out to see if they enjoyed it. Everyone in the store all stared. The three each took an eating utensil. Everyone in the store blinked at the same time as someone sneezed. When they opened their eyes, every last bit of food was gone. The whole store gaped. More please, said Sasuke. Everyone got back to eating as the store prepared more for their new 2.5 favorite customers. They considered Naruto half because he recommended the place to the last Uchiha, and someone that was part of the Haruno clan. So you too, while we chowed down, tell me why you felt the need to defend me in class, said Naruto as he stared at the other two. We couldn't let them continue to mistreat you, Naruto-kun. I mean, after last night, I guess it made us think, replied the pink-haired girl. Agreed Sasuke. I remembered all those times I called you annoying and loud, but that was to get attention, right? I mean, you even did the pranks to get back at the people and to make more laugh, said Sakura. They called him the devil's jester for all the pranks he pulled, smirked Sasuke. Hey! Some of those were pretty funny. You know they were, pouted Naruto. Yeah, they were funny, said Sakura as she started eating sushi at a slower pace. I want to know about Naruto-kun. How long have you known about the you-know-what? Asked the Uchiha as he started eating his rice cakes. I told you, for a very long time, responded Naruto as he slowly slurped his ramen. Is it scary? Have you ever seen it? Asked Sakura. She, Sakura-chan, is a very good friend of mine. Most people just think she's evil. To tell you the truth, the whole reason she attacked, said Naruto as he whispered something to them. She was on her what? Yelled the two, causing many people to jump. You know, that time of month. She was grumpy, mumbled Naruto. I can't believe it. Not only is she, but she only attacked because of that? Haha, that really is. I know how she feels though, mumbled Sakura. What's she like anyway? Asked Sasuke, curiously. She can be funny at times, crazy at times, bloodthirsty most of the time, but mainly, she is quite nice, said Naruto. You sound rather fond of her, said Sasuke as he picked up more onigiri. And no. Of course not. Why would you say that, stammered the blonde. Right, said Sakura as she felt a slight jealousy at the thought. Let's not talk about that here. I mean, this is public after all, said Naruto as the other two agreed. The three ate in silence for the rest of a while. The restaurant was slowly but surely getting eaten out. They had to call more workers in to keep up with the speed that the three were eating. Finally, after about 3 hours, they stopped. The manager looked happy as the chefs all collapsed from exhaustion. He walked up to them and placed the bill in the exact middle of the three teens. Sasuke and Sakura looked at Naruto. Naruto looked at the bill. He looked back at the manager and said 5 small words. Send it to the Hokage. Back at the school, you're all an hour late, yelled Kakashi. Iruka looked shocked as he heard that outside the door. No one has ever out-tardied Kakashi. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura looked at him sheepishly. Heh, how do you like the taste of your own medicine? Smirked Naruto. Ugh, my first impression of you, sadistic, crazy, sly, clever, and very much like a second Anko, the Cyclops responded. Naruto beamed as he was compared to a special jonin. Personally, he liked Anko. She was a lot like himself in more ways than one. Kakashi stared at his goofy smile before clearing his throat. Alright, you three. Meet me on the roof, said the copynin as he poofed to the roof. The three of them ran to the roof to confront their new teacher. He was reading a certain orange book as usual. Sakura stared at it thinking it looked like the one her dad reads every now and then. Alright, Kakashi-sensei. Put the smut away and listen to us. Yelled Naruto. Yelled Sakura now that she knew what it was. Kakashi's eyebrow rose. He didn't think any of them would know what he was reading. He sighed as he placed the book in his official porn pocket. He turned to them all as they sat down on the stairs. Alright, now that you are all here, tell me about yourselves, said the Scarecrow. Like what, Kakashi-sensei? Asked Sakura. Like your likes, dislikes, hobbies and dreams, he said once more. Shouldn't you go first as an example? Muttered Sasuke. Alright. My name is Hatake Kakashi. I don't feel like telling you my likes and dislikes. My hobbies are none of your concern. My dream is my business, not yours, said Kakashi. All we found out was his name, whispered Sakura while Sasuke nodded. His name is Hatake Kakashi. His likes are the Ika Ika series. He dislikes people who hate the Ika Ika series and people who try to take it away. His hobby is reading the Ika Ika series and mailing the author to ask when the next one is coming out. His dream is to read every Ika Ika book made and to meet the author, stated Naruto. So basically he is a? Fumed Sakura. Yep, nodded Naruto. How did he know that? Wondered Kakashi. Alright Pinky, your go, he said as he pointed to her. My name is Haruno Sakura, not Pinky. My likes are my friends, and stares at Sasuke, then at Naruto while looking confused as to who she wants to look at. My hobby is, stares at Sasuke, and my dream is, stares at her two teammates once more although looking confused. I hate Inopig and people who mess with my friends for no real reason, stares at Naruto for the last one, said Sakura. Alright, how about you, Emo? My name is Uchiha Sasuke, not Emo. I like very few things but my friends are one of them. I dislike a lot of things. My hobby is training and my dream is, revive my clan and if possible, to kill someone while doing it, answered Sasuke. Sasuke in this life has changed a lot, thought Naruto. And finally, Blondie, your turn. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, not Blondie. I like my friends, I mean pranking the villagers, and ramen. My dislikes are people who hate me for no reason. Looks at Kakashi with a "You're so gonna get a blast of Oiroku no Jutsu, sexy jutsu DUH. Later today for reading that book, look, and the 30 seconds it takes for ramen to cook. My hobbies are cooking and gardening. What? Don't look at me like that, gardening is fun, said Naruto as the other three looked at him strangely from the cooking and gardening comment. Don't forget your dream, said Kakashi. Oh, my dream is to be the Hokage and to make all my friends' lives better than they were before, cause I couldn't do it last time, thought Naruto. Funny, I was so sure I would have a fangirl, an avenger, and a blonde idiot. Instead I got a confused fangirl, a reconsidered avenger, and a crazy, sadistic, blonde Anko. Yup, my team's a real winner, thought Kakashi. Alright, now what? Asked the Pinkette. Right, well tomorrow you will meet me in Training Ground 7 at precisely 5 in the morning. We will then take the real genin exams, stated the Cyclops. Real genin exams? Didn't we already pass? Asked Sasuke. No. The real genin exams help weed out the people who don't deserve to be ninja yet. There is a 33% fail rate, so only 9 of the original 30 students will pass, stated Kakashi. What? That's not fair, yelled Sakura. It's not my problem, it's yours. Don't eat breakfast tomorrow or you will puke. Well, Ja-any, said Kakashi as he poofed away. I have to learn how to do that, said Sasuke. Alright, you two. We will eat breakfast tomorrow. We will meet at the training ground at precisely 8 o'clock, and we will be passing that test, declared the blonde. Didn't Kakashi-sensei say not to eat? Asked Sakura. Trust me. Eat, or you won't have much energy, he said. Well, now what? Asked Sasuke. I think we should work on our teamwork. We are in a 3-man cell, so I think they wanted us to, smirked at Naruto knowingly. Alright. I have nothing better to do, stated Sasuke. I'm in too, said Sakura. Alright. Let's go, yelled Naruto as he jumped off the roof. The three of them spent the rest of the day training together. Naruto took a small break in order to keep his promise to Kakashi. Kakashi was sent to the hospital due to massive blood loss along with 23 other unfortunate men who wandered into his harem no jutsu. Harem jutsu. They finally went home after Naruto's tort training and rested. Tomorrow is gonna be a big day for them. Ah! Came a yell that pierced through the morning air. Naruto sat upright thinking one thing. Aji-san must have gotten the bill. Naruto hopped out of bed and made his way to his bathroom to prepare. Luckily for him, he had remembered to do the laundry the day before and had the same outfit. He intended to burn the jumpsuits one day. They were so hideous. Naruto prepared some instant ramen and ate it quietly. He ran out the door afterwards. As he was walking, he ran into Sakura, who waved at him. "Ohio Naruto-kun. Wanna pick up Sasuke-kun with me?" yelled the pink head as she ran to him. "Sure," he responded. They both made their way to the Uchiha complex on the other side of town. Naruto noticed something on the way. There was apparently a large abandoned mansion that was exactly in the middle of the Uchiha complex and the Hyuga compound. He noticed a small sign that had faded words. KMIKZ, what? In my old life, they never told me I had a house. Damn that council. I swear, when I become Rokudame again, I'll disband it, thought Naruto as Sakura walked ahead of him. Naruto noticed and ran up, filing the mansion away in his imaginary filing cabinet labeled ways to kill the council. Sakura and Naruto both wandered into the area and headed for the largest house there. They knocked 3 times before Sasuke opened the door looking ready to leave. "Did anyone else hear a scream this morning?" asked Uchiha. "Nope," Sakura responded. Sasuke shrugged as the 3 of them headed for the training field. They got there with seconds to spare as Kakashi poofed next to Naruto. "Hey Kakashi-sensei. You're just on time," yelled Naruto. "What? I am?" yelled Kakashi. "Yeah, so give us your test," demanded the blonde. Kakashi shrugged as he pulled out 2 bells. 2 out of 3 students looked at it skeptically. "You 3 are to take a bell from me. You have until none before this timer runs out." Kakashi pulls out a timer from nowhere. "To find and take a bell," said Kakashi. Where did he get that timer from? Where did he get the bells from for that matter? Thought the 3. "I know, Kakashi-sensei. There are only 2 bells," said the pinkette. "I know. One of you will fail this test. The one that doesn't have a bell by noon will be tied to the post, and watch as I eat lunch in front of them," said Kakashi. His eyes had an evil glint in them. "Thank you, Naruto-kun. I am so glad I listened to you about breakfast," thought Naruto's teammates. "Alright, Hajime. Begin," yelled Kakashi as the 3 genins to be disappeared. "Wow, they aren't bad at concealing themselves," muttered Kakashi as he pulled out his book. Sakura looked ready to annihilate. "Word or not, I'm using it, the jonin." She was stopped by a hand on her shoulder. She looked up to see Naruto. "Naruto-kun, what are you doing?" she hissed. "He's trying to break us up," stated Naruto. "What do you mean?" she asked. "I mean with 2 bells, he wanted us to try and go at him individually. He is trying to make us not trust one another like a team," he said as she started to understand what he was getting at. "So this test is for teamwork?" he whispered. "Why didn't you say so earlier?" came a voice above them. "Sorry, Sasuke-kun, I didn't know where you were," lied the blonde, obviously knowing he was in a tree. "So how are we gonna get him?" whispered Sakura. "Easy, you pissed, and Sasuke, you pissed, alright?" he asked. The 2 of them nodded as they prepared for their assault. Naruto and Sasuke both jumped in front and behind Kakashi. Did they figure out the meaning behind the test already? Thought the jounin as he got ready. "What are you doing here, Sasuke team?" yelled Naruto. "Me? Dobe, you couldn't take on a cat," insulted Sasuke. Started Kakashi. "Oh yeah. I'll get those bells before you," yelled Naruto as he ran at Kakashi. "Like you'll get them before me." He followed suit. Naruto threw a punch at Kakashi, who dodged, thinking that Naruto was going to hit Sasuke. Naruto flew by as planned, but instead of hitting Sasuke like Kakashi expected, Sasuke grabbed his arm and tossed him at Kakashi's back. Kakashi, not seeing this, thought that Naruto had stopped in time and was rounding back at him. Sasuke also took this opportunity to kick Naruto and accidentally make him head at Kakashi faster. Kakashi jumped out of the way only to have to duck under a kick from Sasuke. At the same moment, Naruto did a low leg sweep. Kakashi had nowhere to go, so he replaced himself with Sasuke. Kakashi jumped back to see Sasuke trip and Naruto duck. "You dope! Don't get in my way!" yelled the raven-haired boy as he and Naruto rushed at Kakashi once more. Sasuke jumped into a flying kick at the Cyclops. Using this as a distraction, Naruto made a Kage Bunshin appear behind Kakashi. He ran up and threw back a punch. Sasuke flew past Kakashi as he sidestepped him. He saw Naruto ready to smash his face in, and was prepared to block. Sasuke smirked as the Naruto clone behind his teacher was now in front of him. He kept flying as the clone grabbed his leg and did a 180-degree turn. It tossed Sasuke like a sack of potatoes as Sasuke prepared to do a flying tackle. Kakashi grabbed Naruto's arm just before it could hit, and was about to hit him when Sasuke rammed onto his back, sending him flying back a couple meters. "Damn it, team! I almost had him!" yelled the blonde. "Oh yeah?" yelled Sasuke as he kicked Naruto into his stomach. Naruto was sent flying back pretending to look injured as he neared Kakashi in midair. The Cyclops moved out of the way as Naruto flipped and landed on the ground before jumping back up and trying to do a descending flip kick, much like his Uzumaki Naruto Rindan, Uzumaki Naruto combo. If you don't know what that is by now, stop reading. Move. The jonin jumped back to avoid the kick aimed for his head only to go right in the way of Sasuke. "Katan, Gakakyu no Jutsu! Fire release! Great Fireball Jutsu!" yelled Sasuke as a huge fireball was sent soaring at Kakashi. "Shit! They shouldn't be able to use Jutsu yet. It should be too much for them," thought the jonin as he prepared his own counter. "Suiton, Suijin Hiki! Water release! Water encampment wall!" yelled Kakashi as a large wall of water fizzled out the fireball. The wall of water dropped down to reveal 25 Narutos and 25 Sasukes. "Bunshins?" wondered Kakashi. The clones all rushed at Kakashi as he waited. He obviously thought they were normal clones until, wham! A Sasuke clone nailed him in the face while at the same time grabbing a mask. Everything in the training ground was completely silent. They waited with bated breaths as Kakashi stood back up. On his face was another mask. "What the?" yelled Sasuke and Naruto angrily. "Damn, I am so glad I decided to wear 2 masks today," said Kakashi. Sasuke, Naruto, Sakura, who was hiding, and the clones all fell to the ground twitching with sweat drops all around. They got back up as the 50 clones plus the originals all charged at Kakashi. Kakashi noticed them working together and looked slightly happy but was concerned that Sakura wasn't there. He shrugged as he took out a kunai and started chopping apart the clones. After many puffs of smoke he managed to destroy 45 of them. The last 5 and the originals looked quite tired. Kakashi smirked as he managed to punch the real Naruto in the face and sent him back. Naruto stayed up but Kakashi reappeared behind him with his hand in a seal. "Never let your opponents get behind you. Kanahegakur Hiden, Taijutsu no Ugi, Senin Garoshi. Hidden Leaf Secret, Taijutsu Supreme Technique, 8,000 Years of Death." Or, in Sakura's terms, "Super Powerful Poke," yelled the nin as he prepared to indirectly molest his student in a way that would make Orochimaru look straight. He poked him in the as Sasuke looked ready to bust a gut. Suddenly Naruto disappeared as the real one appeared behind Kakashi. "What did you say?" "Kanahegakur Hiden, Taijutsu no Ugi, Senin Garoshi," yelled Naruto as he tried the same technique. Kakashi did not see that coming and promptly had his poked. This time Sasuke did roll on the ground laughing as Sakura had to use a silencing jutsu to not make so much noise. Kakashi's face faltered before Naruto pushed chakra into his fingers and sent the jonin flying through the air. "I am so gonna get my revenge on him for that," thought Kakashi as he landed a couple feet away. As Kakashi prepared to get up, Sasuke and Naruto stopped laughing and joined the henged Kage Bunshins in grabbing onto Kakashi's arms, legs, and most importantly his fingers to prevent him from escaping. "Sakura-chan now!" yelled the two as Kakashi struggled for freedom. Finally seeing that it was all planned, Sakura popped up from underground in a Naruto-ish fashion and uppercut their teacher in the chin. On the way she grabbed the 2 bells as Kakashi landed on the ground with a thud. The 3 of them stood over them, each celebrating in their own way. Sakura was hopping up and down like a kangaroo on crack. Naruto looked proud with his arms crossed over, a smile on his face. Sasuke did the same as Naruto except with a smirk. "Well, I'm guessing we passed?" Sasuke said coolly as Sakura did a peace sign with her tongue sticking out and Naruto reading, "Wait a sec. Hey! How did you get my book?" yelled as he jumped up and searched for himself. "Book 4 always was the funniest. I laughed my head off when Kigo found out that his girlfriend was into bondage," said Naruto as he continued reading. "Yeah, it was hilarious. Personally, I liked the part when he found out his other girlfriend was a lesbian and wanted hot Yuri action with someone else," he said with an eye smile. Sasuke was trying hard to get the images out of his head and was doing quite fairly, an occasional drop of blood leaking out from his nostril. Sakura looked about ready to kill. "Naruto Kun. I thought you hated S," yelled Sakura as her respect for him dropped slightly. "I do, but that doesn't prevent me from reading the books. Without the smut in it, it would still be great. I mean the plot, the action, the drama. It's like poetry except with hardcore sex," replied the blonde as Kakashi nodded in agreement. "Is it really that great?" asked the Uchiha curiously as Sakura looked shocked. I know, why don't you both read book 1 and tell us how it is? If you want, just ignore the lemons and think of it as rated T. It is quite good, suggested the demon vessel. Sakura and Sasuke both looked apprehensive as Kakashi somehow pulled 2 book 1s out from his pocket. Sasuke hesitantly took one and Sakura took one after seeing Sasuke. The two looked at the books cautiously. Alright, you 3 can go do whatever you want now. Although I would prefer if Naruto stuck around to discuss something, said Kakashi. The other 2 left, preparing their minds for the books that have caught the eyes of millions before them. Naruto was still reading, except that he took out his own copy of book 1 from his pocket. I've read the whole series, so I'm rereading them, said the blonde as Kakashi felt proud to be his teacher. Kakashi pulled out his own book to reread the series too. He giggled perversely as he and Naruto walked off. They both headed for the Jonin lounge in the Hokage Tower. The 2 put their books away as they walked in. He immediately saw Yuhi Kurenai, Sarutobi Asuma, Gekko Hate, Shirane Genma, and Mitarashi Anko. Kakashi, you know perfectly well that kids are not allowed in here, said Asuma, his cancer stick in his mouth. And I know perfectly well that Anko, Genma, and Hate aren't supposed to be here either, he responded casually. Where is Aji-san? Asked Naruto as he looked around. Oh Naruto! I didn't recognize you without the jumpsuit, said Asuma as he walked up to him. That thing was a plague on humanity, replied Naruto as he shuddered. Then why did you wear it? Asked the snake user Anko. Because the village hates me and won't let me buy anything else, said Naruto. Anko froze up at the comment, which only Naruto and Kurenai noticed. Kurenai patted her on the back as she walked to the couch while throwing sympathetic looks at Naruto, who made a quick gesture telling her to take care of her friend. Cough, I think that cough was a little cough, uncalled for cough. Hate, Genma, Asuma, Kakashi, and oddly enough, Naruto pulled out different types of cough drops. He took all 4 and coughed a thank you as he sat down. Where is Guy? Asked the Scarecrow. Do you want to see him? Asked Naruto. Hell no. Last time I saw him he tried to make me wear those spandex suits, shuddered Kakashi. I would rather wear Naruto's suit than Guy's, said Kurenai as she also shuddered. Everyone all had a moment of silence to thank the gods that Guy wasn't there. Almost as if Kami himself got bored and wanted comedy, the door burst open. Hello my youthful comrades! Yelled Guy as he ran into the room. Everyone instantly took to something else. Hate had a coughing fit which let him and Hate escape. Anko was still mentally unstable, so Kurenai soothed her. Asuma pulled out 3 more cigs, hoping the smoke would keep the man away. Kakashi and Naruto instantly found their books and were reading through it as fast as they could. Guy looked confused at their actions. I said hello my youthful companions, he yelled once more. Did you say something? Came a collective replay. Oh my god! Kakashi, my eternal rival. Are you spreading your hip attitude to everyone? Yelled the man as he pulled his hair. What? Did you say something? He said once more. Oh my god, is that Uzumaki-san? Why hello my little friend. You should not be reading those books like my rival here, said Guy as he struck a pose. Huh? Did you say something? Replied the boy as he turned a page before giggling slightly. Oh my god! Kakashi is reaching out to the young. I must not let him win. I must up Lee's training against his new younger rival Uzumaki-san, yelled the green beast of Konoha as he jumped out of the room. Speaking of which, I need to work on my speed and strength with this body. Man, being 12s. Thought Naruto as he contemplated on a plan. Alright, where is Hokage-sama? He is late today, said Kurenai. I hope he isn't as late as my students, said Kakashi as he sweat dropped. What do you mean by that, Kakashi? Said a voice as the Hokage appeared from the stairs. Hokage-sama. Aji-san. Came the collective cry. Alright. Naruto? What are you doing here? Asked Sarutobi. I was following my teacher here. I have something to discuss with him, and you, said Naruto. Huh? I thought I wanted to discuss something with you, responded the Jonin. We can talk about that later. This is important, whispered the Jinchuriki so that only the 2 of them could hear. Alright, meet me after the meeting, he whispered back as Kakashi looked confused. Hokage-sama, I, Yuhi Kurenai, say that teammate has passed. Hyuga Hinata has some serious confidence issues, but I may be able to help her get over it. Inuzuka Kiba is loud, brash, and hot-headed. He is pretty good but is easily distracted and fights without planning. Abirame Shino is like all Abirames, completely weird. They have the makings for a good search/info gathering squad, said Kurenai as she handed in a file with the 3 listed genin. I, Sarutobi Assume, say that Team 10 has also passed. The Ino Shikacho trio is working great as always. Nara Shikamaru is utterly lazy and has no motivation whatsoever. He is apparently pretty smart, but I will need to see how smart. Akimichi Chuji is always eating, which could cause later problems, and he also has a taboo on the word fat like all Akimikis. He is very loyal and trustworthy in a pinch though. Yamanaka Ino is for all intents and purposes a fangirl. She isn't very good at fighting but is quite adept at her family jutsu. She can work very well when motivated but is otherwise very loud and clumsy. The three have the makings for a silent assassination squad, but it will need a lot of work, said Sarutobi as he placed similar files on the three. Everyone looked at Kakashi in interest as he walked up to the table. Everyone knew he had never passed the test and didn't expect much from him. They did not know who was on his team since they left the academy early. The Sandame looked at Naruto, who was pretty laid back at it all. I, Hatake Kakashi, say that Team 7 has passed with flying colors. It was quite amazing. Haruno Sakura was presumed a fangirl but works very well with her team as though she has had prior training. Naruto coughs. She is easily the most cunning as she had good makings for either a genjutsu specialist like Kurenai here, or a medic Nin. Sasuke Uchiha works like any Uchiha, a well-oiled machine. He has pretty large chakra reserves like all from his clan and can use a fire element jutsu already with only slight exhaustion. When working with his teammates, he can pull off deadly combos. Finally, Uzumaki Naruto, everyone in the room stares at him in interest, is by far the most deadly. If memory serves, it was Naruto who came up with the plan to defeat me and even pull off some pretty good jutsu combinations. He is a very quick thinker underneath his happy-go-lucky appearance, and is able to strategize better than our best. He seems able to use Kage Bunshin no Jutsu in a very effective manner, and had enough chakra reserves to match mine. I almost feel as though he was holding back in the fight, finished Kakashi as Naruto blushed from the sudden attention, while the jonin placed their folders on the table. Alright, you all heard him. This is not a dream. Hatake Kakashi has taken a genin team, declared the Hokage. Everyone shook off their shock as they started to leave the room. Naruto had started reading his book again before Kakashi and Sandame turned to him. Is that book one of the Ika series? Asked the Hokage as his eyes glazed over. Yep, apparently Naruto here may hate us but he really knows the books well, said Kakashi, looking proud. Alright. Let's head to your office, Aji-san. Tonight will be a long one, said the blonde as he put the book away and headed up the stairs with the two behind him. Time for Omake. This week's Omake is Edjutsu Part 1. Naruto. Hey everyone. Today is a special Omake with your host, me. Crowd, yay. Naruto. Has anyone ever wondered about the Byakugan? Niji, what about Naruto? Naruto, you guys can see through things, right? Niji, yeah. Naruto, does that involve clothing? Niji, Naruto, and the whole Hakurokujirinshu, 8 trigrams, 64 palms, can technically allow you to feel on 64 different women in less than a minute. Niji, faces turns redder. Naruto, and you even made one with 128 hits too. Niji, OMFG. You're right, Naruto. And also, the Kaiten can allow you to slap the asses of the same women in one move. Niji, faints from blood loss at thoughts. Jiraiya, gold. Pure utter gold. Scribbles on notepad. Naruto, damn, looks like that's all the time for today. Come back next time for the next Omake segment. Naruto, Kakashi, and Sandame Hokage all walked up to the Hokage's office. Naruto was in front, Kakashi following close behind while throwing curious glances at Naruto, and Sarutobi was in the back shrugging every time the copy ninja gave him a questioning look. The trio finally reached the top floor. Naruto opens the room to the office to see 5 stacks of paperwork going from the floor to the ceiling. Damn, I forgot that after a meeting there was going to be that much paperwork. Groaned the Hokage as he sat in his chair, pulling out a stamp. The other two look at the stacks in horror and pity. They knew that the one enemy that no one could beat was paperwork, aka the Kage's nightmare. Aji-san, let me handle that, said Naruto. Yeah right, like you can handle all this, scoffed Sandame, although hoping that he had a solution. Oh yeah? Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Shadow Clone Jutsu, yelled the blonde as 9 Narutos poofed into existence. What are yo, started Kakashi, but Naruto cut him off. Clones 1, 2, and 3, sort the papers into alphabetical order. Clones 4, 5, and 6, stamp them all. Clones 7, 8, and 9, put them away into their correct shelves and files, ordered Naruto. High came the collective shouts as they started sorting through everything and running around like a well-oiled machine. Why didn't I ever think about that? Asked Sarutobi as he watched the clones as though they were Kami's gifts to mankind. Honestly, I don't know, answered Naruto as he smirked. I need to remember to do that when I need to work, said Kakashi. The three stood there watching as the 5 piles quickly dwindled to nothing in a matter of seconds. Naruto finally turned serious as he turned to the other two. Aji-san, get rid of any ninja nearby. Kakashi-sensei, use a privacy jutsu on the room. I want no one to hear about this, ordered the genin as the others looked slightly confused by his demanding aura. With a snap of his fingers, the umbu in the room left while Kakashi used the privacy jutsu over everything to make sure nothing gets in or out, including their voices. Naruto dispelled 6 of his clones while Henjai the other 3 into comfy chairs. They all sat down as the 2 looked at the youngest of the group. I will get straight to the point. I am not who you make me out to be, said Naruto casually. What do you mean? Asked the Hokage cautiously. Tell me, what do you know about me? He asked. Well, you were usually loud, obnoxious, and rude, but I still loved you like my own grandson, replied the old man. I haven't known you for too long personally, but I was ordered to guard you for about 80% of your childhood, the Scarecrow answered. At that remark, Naruto looked surprised. He didn't know that, even in his other life. He shook it off as he continued. Would you say I am loud, obnoxious, and rude now? He asked. No. Wait. If that's true, who are you? Yelled the Hokage as he pulled out a kunai from a pocket. Calm down, Hokage-sama, Kakashi yelled, although looking warily at the blonde boy in front of them. I am Naruto, but not the Naruto you know, he answered. Enough riddles. What have you done to my grandson? Sarutobi yelled. I am glad you thought of me as your grandson, he said sadly. Thought? I still think of Naruto as his grandson, said the old man proudly. Aji-san, I am Naruto, but, you know what? This is silly, just let me show you, said Naruto as he did a few hand seals. To the other two's eyes, they noticed that they were suddenly in a destroyed town that looked eerily like Konoha. The buildings were destroyed with fire and smoke everywhere. The ground had huge holes that looked as though Tsunade went into a rampage. Kakashi could have sworn that some of the flames were black. The two knew they were caught in a genjutsu. Suddenly, a figure appeared before them that made their eyes widen. Yandame? Gasped the Sandaime. Sensei! Yelled Kakashi as he rushed at the image only to phase through. Ha ha ha, I am not the Yandame you two, said the man as Kakashi returned to his chair. He looked like an exact replica of Yandame. He has the same yellow hair. His eyes looked slightly bigger but still alike. He was wearing a strange battle outfit that covered his whole body. The top part was a blue body armor that protected the heart with metal reinforcement. The bottom was also armor except it was white with blue flames running up the sides. His blue hitate was tied around his forearm, and his black boots had metal paddings. His hands were gloved in silver gauntlets while he wore a pure white cape with blue flames at the bottom. In the middle of the cape was a kanji surrounded by blue flames that read Rokudaime Hokage. The biggest difference was the whisker marks that adorned his cheeks and a very beautiful sheath underneath the cape. Roku, started the Scarecrow. Dame, finished the Hokage as they both stared at him. Correct. I am the Rokudaime Hokage of Konohagakure, said the figure, as he showed a small grin. What did you do to Naruto? Asked the old man. Naruto? I am Naruto Baka, yelled the older Naruto as he fumed at not being recognized. And Naruto? You are the Rokudaime Hokage? Gaped the third as his mouth fell and his pipe fell out. Yes. Now shut up and listen. I am Naruto from 12 years in the future, he said as he watched them. The two were completely silent from either shock or they were now completely serious. Naruto couldn't guess, so he strived forward. As you can plainly see from the environment, Konoha is completely and utterly destroyed, started the blonde. What? Yelled the two. So much for thinking he could bring peace and prosperity, thought the third. Calm down. I'll tell you how. You see, 7 years from now, when I was 19, I was made Rokudaime Hokage. The people still didn't like me very much, but they did hold some respect for me after saving the village numerous times. I led them for a while, but to my chagrin, something happened. Iwabikure, the village hidden in the rocks, declared war on us once again. They had made an alliance with 2 other villages out of the 6 great shinobi villages, continued Naruto. 6? I thought there were only 5, muttered Kakashi as he digested the information. A new one was built in Kakashi. As a matter of fact, it should have been built recently. Well, anyway, we went to war with our 3 allies. Unfortunately for everyone, this led to the 4th Great Shinobi War that far surpassed every other war put together. I led the troops alongside the Kazekage and the Mizuki. We all clashed for almost 3 years, said Naruto. The scene changed as it faded from a destroyed Konoha to a battlefield. The sun was rising as the giant plain showed nothing. The sun's rays peeked over a mountaintop to show them. There in the distance stood two opposing forces. 3 people in Kage robes stood at the front of each opposing army. They threw off their robes to reveal their own individual armors. A banner was raised from every army and a bright blue flash exploded as the older Naruto disappeared and reappeared as a strange sword was held in front of him, blocked by the Otokage. It marked the beginning of the greatest war on the planet. Kakashi and Sarutobi were watching as the troops ran while occasionally gasping as they saw people they knew or when Naruto threw 3-pronged kunais and performed a Haration, no jutsu, flying thunder god jutsu, except with blue flashes. The other Naruto who was showing them let them watch for a while. This is, muttered Sarutobi. Horrible. Kakashi finished the statement as he saw himself, wielding the white fan blade of his father's, fully repaired. While he ran and assimilated the armies with jutsu after jutsu, the scene changed again to show people they did not recognize. The first showed a strange boy that looked like a replica of Guy. He was wearing the exact outfit as him as well as the bowl cut and eyebrows. They watched as he used the Goken, strong fist, on his enemies. He seemed even better than Guy. Then he was ganged up on and took out a sake bottle? He popped the top as he drank the clear red liquid before dropping to the ground asleep. The 2 sweat dropped but stopped after watching him go into a Suiken, drunken fist, stance and beat the shit out of everyone. That is Rock Lee. He is the village's taijutsu master. He had learned from Guy himself but surpassed him. He mainly uses Goken but it is said he had mastered over 200 taijutsu styles. He created his own styles which led him to being recognized all over the world as the strongest taijutsu expert. He is the leader of a segment of Umbu known as the Beasts of Konoha. Trust me, he tried to name them the youth-filled warriors of Youthdom. I swear, I nearly banned the word youth in the dictionary. Informed the blonde as he changed the scenery. This time, it showed a hot pink-haired woman as she ran through the crowd. She had on a jonin vest and a pink/red Chinese kimono top with engraved sakura petals while her pants were pitch black with the roots of a sakura tree. She had on combat boots and black gloves. She threw one kunai which hit a nin, and flew through him, and hit another, and another before hitting a wall and destroying it. She punched the ground as the whole earth seemed to collapse on the nins. The 2 watched as they saw her perform medical jutsu on an allied before smashing her way through everything else. She was obviously trained by a certain Sannin. The 2 gulped, never to piss her off. That there is Haruno Sakura, head of the Haruno clan. She had surpassed the Godame Hokage, Tsunade Kazan. Weird looks from the 2 for the Kazan part. I was an adopted son. Return to action. Sakura is deadly in close combat, and her chakra stores rival Kakashi's in this time period. She has mastered many ninjutsu and is part of a special group that I shall speak about later. She is the head of the medic nins in Konoha. The scenery changed again to a man with long hair and silver eyes. He had on a fancy white robe that covered his entire body. There were engravings of birds all along it as the blood seemed to dissolve upon contact with the clothing. His black boots could barely be seen and his hitai was tied to his forearm. On his forehead was a strange marking that was a picture of a kitsune with a swirl around it. The man seemed to look proud of the marking on his head. He was surrounded as some kunai were thrown and multiplied. With a quick spin he emitted chakra all over and batted them away. Then with lightning quick strikes, he jabbed everyone there in the blink of an eye as they all fell to the ground. Hyuga Niji was a member of the branch family of the Hyugas but is now the head for his skills and calm demeanor. The seal on his forehead was designed by myself to replace the caged bird seal. This one actually powers up the Byakugan, White Eye, while not having the repercussions of the old one. It cannot be used to kill other members while making sure that the bloodline can only be passed on with the consent of the owner, and, to prevent traitors, a Hyuga head member. He has made the Hyuga a force to be reckoned with. Once more the image changes to a strange sight. There was a redhead smashing his way through the armies with a giant gourd on his back. They recognized him as one of the Kages who threw off their robes. They could see why he was a Kage since he was spewing sand and killing hundreds as more sand kept coming out. He was the only Kage without armor and instead wore a red coat that went all the way to the floor with a small bit of metal covering his heart. Next to him was a sandy blonde-haired woman wearing a purple battle kimono. She had the largest fan they have ever seen. The future Tamari's fan was twice as large as the one in their time period but they didn't know that. A swing of her fan sent back over 30 troops, even with them sticking to the ground with chakra. She made the Kazekage's sand fly twice as fast while the troops standing on sand couldn't stick well and were blown away. Next to them was a cat? Well, it was a man with a cat suit. He was wearing makeup? Purple lines ran all over his face, and his suit had pointy ears. Yep, he's a freak. He was using Sunegakure's puppetry techniques. He was controlling 10 puppets that were destroying things left and right. They stacked on top of each other and created what looked like a wind vortex that edged up the enemies and ripped them to shreds. The Kazakage is Sabaku no Gara. He helps in the Chunin exam invasion, but I stop him. He was a Jinchuriki like myself, but I befriended him, and he changed his ways to death and destruction. The Kunoichi next to him is Sabaku no Tamari, the Kazakage's sister. Don't make her mad or she will hit you with that giant metal fan. I will never understand how she keeps such a nice figure while carrying that thing. The next guy is Sabaku no Kankuro, the middle-aged sibling. He is the second strongest puppeteer in the shinobi nations, second only to the legendary Sasori of the Red Sand. I personally find him hilarious, and we get along well. But I think he was dropped on his head as a child because that black suit does not look comfortable in a desert. The image is changed again. This time it showed a certain raven-haired teammate. His red eyes with 3 tomo in each pupil showed how strong his Sharingan, copy eye, was. He had on a black male battle kimono like the one he wore when he was in control of Oreo. The back had the Uchiha insignia on it, the fan with the red and white. He did not have a bow on the back but instead was 2 long sheaths. The 2 Kusanagis inside were already out of them. One was normal while the other glowed an eerie blue. It was none other than the official Kusanagi, grass-cutting blade. He was going twin sword on a kage with a symbol for sound on the armor. The kage was none other than Oreo, wielding 2 blades as well, both running and parrying and trying to slice through the other. Sasuke looked enraged at seeing them. Uchiha Sasuke. He is one of the most troublesome people I have ever met. He was a stuck-up, snobby, kunai Uchiha, at first. I befriended him for a time but shortly later, he was influenced by evil powers. It took me the better of 4 years to finally track him down and beat the sense into him. He was manipulated the whole time and, after ridding him of the problem, he rejoined Konoha, giving up his revenge on his brother. He leads the Uchiha clan of course and is supreme commander of the Umbu forces. He is stronger than a Sannin but he will never beat me. The Genjutsu altered their reality even more as it showed more people. The next one was 2 people. They were back to back as they were being surrounded. Kakashi almost jumped out of his chair to help. His war instincts were kicking back in. One of the people was a guy. He had on metal gauntlets with claws on the end and metal boots with spikes. His outfit screamed animal lover. The top was a fur coat that was pitch black. His pants also had fur on it as a giant dog stood next to him. At first glance, you would think he was an animal. The guy next to him was completely covered from head to toe. He wore a green jacket that covered his entire body along with his head. His combat boots could barely be seen along with his black shades. He was clearly an Aburame with his stoic expression and quiet calculative mind. Suddenly a woman comes flying through the crowd and lands right next to the 3. She had long bluish-purple hair that reached to her back. She wore a white kimono which complemented her eyes. They were pupilless and white like any hyuga. She got into a juken stance as they prepared for a fight. The dog man turned into 2 tornadoes which tore through one side. The Aburame's bugs ate their way through the other side. The hyuga struck Tenketsu after Tenketsu on her own side. He, Inuzuka Kiba, Aburame Shino, and Hyuga Hinata. They were originally teammate from my graduation class a couple hours ago. Kiba is the head of the Hunter Nins and the head of the Inuzuka clan. Many have said he single-handedly, well unless you count the dog, defeated 20 A-rank missing Nins in one go. Shino is a very powerful shinobi who joined the Hunter Nins. His mastery of his element and his bloodline make him out to be one of the greatest. Hinata is the second vice head of the medic Nins. Her use of water healing and medic healing make her on par with Sakura. Her juking uses Tsunade's super strength, as well making her a killing machine. He is also the leader of the Hyuga Council, right next to her cousin Niji in power. The scene started to change again as Kakashi and Sarutobi started to wonder why he was showing these. He must have a point to all this information. The scene changed to another 3-man team. If the original Inoshikacho trio consisting of Inoichi, Shikaku, and Chusa saw their children at work, they would lose all their pride and dignity. The future Inoshikacho trio were assimilating the army faster than a wrecking ball at a normal house. A beautiful blonde woman was running around using lightning jutsu like there was no tomorrow while at the same time using her family's jutsu to disorient the enemies. He had on a purple robe, indicating her status as a clan head. She had flowers on her robe like the Harunos except they were all different kinds. She made a crater in the ground with a kick indicating Tsunade's third student. A pineapple-headed man was killing off more people than before as his shadow suffocated their victims. A bunch drew close as he solidified his shadow making it into a lance, and tossing it through the men. He had on normal shinobi gear and looked almost bored. He was thinking clearly if the slight twitch of his eye wasn't any indication. The only significant thing about him is that he had on some fancy-looking gloves with the Nara family crest on them indicating a clan head. The last man was a walking disaster. He was 100 feet high thanks to his jutsu, and he was stomping his way through everything. He had on gold battle armor with the Akimichi clan crest on the back with his long red hair concealing it slightly. He looked almost funny with the swirls on his cheeks, and his eyes not even open. The enemy shinobi had no chance though as he slammed his hands into the ground. The legendary Ino Shikucho trio. They took that legend to a whole new level as they combined new things with it. Yamanaka Ino is the other vice head of the medic Nins and also the head of the Yamanakas. Her normally slow family jutsu was accelerated by her lightning nature and allowed her to make them into perfect attacks. She is also head of investigation thanks to her skills. Nara Shikamaru is the village's top strategist. The only person ever to beat him in anything mental was me. His IQ is well over 200 and only continued to grow as the years flew by. He has perfected his bloodline to an art form. Akimichi Chuji is known as the world's biggest food critic. He is also head of the Akimikis and head of the assault squads. With his training, he helped build up the army to make it one of the deadliest forces on the planet. All three of them are deadly in their field of combat, and even deadlier when together. The scene warped to see two more people. One was a man? Or a woman? They couldn't tell. He had mouths in his hands and appeared to be throwing clay. A couple seconds later, the man/woman made a hand sigh and everything blew apart. The clay was obviously explosive. She was wearing a GI robe which made it harder to tell the gender since it was very loose and covered her whole body. The other person was obviously a man with red hair, and he had on a black cloak that didn't give anything away about him. The amazing thing was what he was fighting with. Everyone recognized the Sand Village's puppet techniques as he controlled over 100 puppets as they slashed and stabbed and soared through the air, occasionally catching the clay behind spewed by his partner and tossing it. I am making them good guys and alive, so deal with it. The man/woman is Deidara of Iwagakure, and the other is none other than Sasori of the Red Sand who I mentioned earlier. They both joined alongside two others after I convinced them. As a team, they are adept at mass destruction since their attacks can wipe out whole brigades and armies. The puppeteer is good at silent killings while the other is mainly demolition on fortresses and castles. The man/woman's abilities are through a very unique Kekei Genkai that allow the user to make exploding clay with the mouths in their hands and to have a fourth mouth on their chest that is used only as a last resort, suicide technique. The image changes once more to see a surprising scene. A whole squad stood surrounded on all sides. They are easily recognized as Tenten, Kurenai, Kakashi, Guy, and Hashigaki Kisame. Kakashi and Sarutobi gaped at the last one. I mean, who wouldn't have their mouths drop at a shark-faced, giant, sword-wielding man? The five of them all got into position as the army charged. A crimson-eyed genjutsu mistress dressed in her traditional white and red robes stopped them in their tracks. Guy, in his green spandex glory, beat the shit out of them as Kakashi, mask and all, rounded out with a couple ninjutsu. Tenten, dressed in a pure purple Chinese outfit with engraved pandas, flung weapon after weapon at the army as Kisame ran in for killing sweeps. Kisame was not dressed in his cloak but was in Leaf Village Ambu armor. It was covered by a blue cloak but no one cared since there was too much blood to tell the difference. Those five are some of the most elite in the village. They each specialize in a form of ninja skill. Kakashi is the ninjutsu specialist, Kurenai is the genjutsu mistress, Guy is the taijutsu commander, Kisame is the village's kenjutsu master, and Tenten specializes as the weapons mistress. I will explain why Kisame joined later. Where is Asuma? Asked Kakashi. He died before the war, said Naruto sadly. The scene warped and showed Asuma's funeral. The two watched silently but then had to go back to the others. The scene changed again to one that nearly freaked them out. It was Uchiha Itachi in a Umbu captain uniform without the mask. He was wielding a Kodachi, his Sharingan activated. He was holding off the third Kage with little trouble as he defended and parried before going into all-out slashes. I have shown you all these people for a reason. They were most of my precious people, and they all died, said Naruto coldly. The two seemed saddened at this but finally voiced his opinion. How did all this happen? Asked Kakashi. I should very well start at the beginning. During the Chunin exams a few months from now, an invasion from a newly developed country, the Sound Village, and their unwilling allies the Sandstruck started Naruto. The scenery changed to one that would happen in a few months. The Sound and Sand were invading while their own forces were caught unprepared for the assault and were slowly retaliating. Smoke was everywhere as giant snakes roamed the area. The sand! Gasped the third. Yes, but it was not their fault. Their Kazekage was murdered and impersonated by the Shodame Otokage. The legendary snake San Nin Oreo, he explained. Oreo! Yelled Sarutobi angrily. Moving along, during the invasion, Oreo kills you, cue surprise from the two, with help from his Kuchios, Edo Tensei, summoning, impure world resurrection, to summon the Shodame and the Nidame, cue anger from two. He also tried to summon the Yondame, cue Kakashi looking ready to annihilate everything in sight, but you stopped him in time. You beat the two and took Oreo's arms away by sealing all of their souls. Well, part of Oreo's soul anyway was Shiki Fuin, dead demon consuming seal. I know you know what that means, said Naruto as he looked at Sarutobi. The scene changed to the three Arties' funeral which Naruto attended. Konohamaru was on the ground sobbing like before while Irika comforted him. They saw Naruto drop his facade to show his sorrow and regret, but no one noticed since they just thought he was sad. Good. I didn't get killed by him. I got killed because of him, grunted the third as he picked up his pipe from the floor. Well, anyway, after all that, me and Erosen, Jiraiya, if you must know, went to find the Godame Hokage, Obachan/Kasen, or Tsunade, he said happily. The two sweat dropped at his nickname for his adopted mother. We find her, she doesn't want to come back. And even worse, Oreo tries to get her to heal his arms by telling him he will bring back Nawaki and Dan. Anger from the two once more, I convince her otherwise, while also finishing up a bet I made with her. The bet was that she will come back to Konoha and be Hokage and give me the Shodame's necklace. But I must master the Rasengan, Spiral Ball, in 1 week, he explained. The scene changed to him and Tsunade in a fight where the blonde Sannin was kicking him with one finger. He powered up a level 2 Rasengan and missed his mark. He hit the ground making a slight hole. They heard everything about the bet, and looked surprised as she offered her famed death necklace. You won the bet? Gaped the Hokage, who knew perfectly well that Tsunade's luck in gambling is unbeatable when she was in danger. I sure as hell did. I learned Yondame's signature technique in a week. Well, from level 2 to level 3 of course. Well, anyway, Tsunade Kazen and Erosenin managed to drive him away, and we all headed back to Konoha. Skip after that a bit is the defection of the last Uchiha, Sasuke. He had received a curse mark on his neck like Anko's heaven seal, which Oreo had finally perfected and allowed unerring obedience to him, and also made the hosts slowly corrupt, enough to willingly allow him to take over their bodies. Kazen sent a team of 1 Chunin and 4 Genin on the S-Class mission, which happened to have Shikamaru, the Chunin, Kiba, Niji, Chuji, and of course me. The scene changed to them meeting at the gates as Lee waved them off. They stopped, and Sakura was standing there bawling her eyes out. The two heard her selfish promise, and knew what was going to happen. Naruto made his promise and left. The scenery flashed to them leaving Chuji behind with a man twice as fat as him. The picture changed to Niji defending them as they ran from a guy with 4 arms. Another change as Naruto left Kiba and Shikamaru to deal with a man with 2 heads and a woman with red hair and a flute. Another change showed a white-haired man with bones sticking out of his body as Lee appeared and saved his hide. Finally, the scene showed the reason for the mission. Kakashi and Sarutobi watched in awe as the two forces chatted and fought. Blow for blow, strike after strike, word for word. They heard it all as Kakashi magically pulled popcorn from behind his back and shared it with the third as he pulled out some drinks and snacks. Older Naruto remembered the pull random junk from behind your back no jutsu as he used it, and pulled out a bag of chips. The other two were on the edge of their seats as though watching an action flick as a cubified Naruto and a demonized Sasuke called out their attacks. A giant red Rasengan flew to meet a pure black Chidori, 1,000 birds, in midair. The two watched as the glowing orb appeared and the Rasengan in Naruto's hand faded away seconds before grinding Sasuke's skull into mush, and instead scratched the headband. They saw Sasuke stab Naruto right next to his heart, and the two collapsed. You should make a movie out of that. And also you hold back, commented Kakashi as he finished up his popcorn. I agree, the action, the drama, the pure terror at times to the hilarity at others, and yes, you held back. You could have totally beaten him, commented the third. Thanks, but anyway, after his defection, I left on a 3-year training trip with Erosenin to get stronger. Around that time I had been taught by Kyubi. Don't look so shocked. She is a very nice person, he said as the other two looked horrified at the idea of being trained by a demon. Then they turned from shocked to freaked out to find out that Kyubi was a woman. The scenery changed again as they were shown 10 different people at once. One looked like a woman or a man with a mechanical eye covered by her hair. One was next to him, her that was shorter with red hair and a dull expression. The next pair was none other than Itachi Uchiha and Hashigaki Kisame. The third pair was a hippie-looking man with a three-bladed scythe and a man with his face covered. The fourth pair was by far the weirdest, seeing as one man looked half plant and looked as though he had too much fun with black and white paint. The other had on one of the ugliest-looking masks in the world. The last pair exuded an aura of power and mysteriousness. A woman with blue hair and a paper flower in her hair stood beside an orange-haired man with piercings over 65% of his face. They all wore black cloaks with red clouds on them. Naruto named them all in order. Deidara of Iwagakure, demolitions expert, partnered with Sasori of the Red Sand, puppet master. Uchiha Itachi, second member of the Uchiha clan and murderer of the Uchiha clan, partnered with Hoshigaki Kisame, the so-called Blue Devil of the Mist. Haiden, unknown origin but is immortal, literally. His partner is Kakuzu of Takigakure, said to be over 100 years old, whose first fight with a leaf Nin was against the Shodaime Hokage himself. Setsu, plant abilities from a Kekkai Genkai, not sure if it is but who cares? I might as well be, which allows him to melt into the ground and show up anywhere instantly as long as it's connected to the earth. Toby, the mask-wearing one, I'm not sure if I should reveal this person to you yet, but he is the real leader of this organization. Konan, former student of Jiraiya, has a Kekkai Genkai that allows her to turn to inflammable paper but is useless against water. Pain, the other leader of these people, tries to take over the world by gathering the 9 Biju and to summon the king of hell himself. These people make up Akatsuki, who tries and fails to capture all 9 Biju and instead captures 8. Pain, the leader, was willing to sacrifice his organization to meet his goals. Itachi and Kisame find out and tell Deidara and Sasori. They tried to warn the others, but they were extremely loyal and attacked back, thinking them to be traitors. They soon abandoned the organization, barely escaping their leader, while at the same time, I met them and convinced them to join Konoha. Turns out there was a reason for Itachi's mass murdering too. He only killed his family because they were planning on overthrowing the Hokage, because their pride made them think they were better than, well, everything. Shortly after, Sasuke shows up after killing Oreo and tries to kill his older brother. Me and Itachi beat him into the ground while Jiraiya and I found a way to unseal him. By the time I was 18, we finally found a cure and saved Sasuke. The next year, I was elected Rokudaime Hokage almost right after I mastered the Hiraishin no Jutsu. The war started for the next 3 years. I am 24, so that leaves 2 years unchecked. Akatsuki. Never heard of them, muttered Kakashi. They won't make themselves known until quite a while, until I search for Tsunade. Anyway, after 3 years of non-stop war, Akatsuki decided to let loose all 8 Biju and make the war even bigger as they took on all 6 armies. The 6 of us joined forces from the major threat and fought for a year. During that time, all my loved ones died and 5 of the 6 nations were destroyed. I vowed revenge, and for the next year, I sought the rest of Akatsuki and fought them all as they recollected the 8 Biju. The scene changed to him killing off the other members of the Akatsuki. Haiden was killed, well, his body was destroyed with an Udama Rasengan, great ball spiraling sphere, while his head was thrown into the ocean while tied to a boulder the size of a Hokage's face. Kakuzu met a futon, Raisin Shuriken, wind release, spiral shuriken, in the stomach, which promptly tore the body asunder. Kakashi and Sarutobi were speechless to see Yandaime's technique finally completed. Zetsu was shown cleaved in half with the same strange sword Naruto used in the war, except that he had a second sword in a twin sword style which looked different. Apparently he picked up the style from Sasuke before he died. Tobi was a strange one. All of the other members so far were killed in large-scale assaults, but for some twist of fate, Tobi died, with a broken neck, after falling off a summoning by accident. Uchiha Madara or not, he is still a weirdo. Even the older Naruto's sweat dropped as he remembered fighting the strange man without really fighting. Konan appeared as they saw cubified Naruto with 4 swaying tails. By that time, Naruto had learned to control 8 tails, but after 6 his body took immense damage. Konan's inflammable paper was actually burning with a strange purple fire. She obviously fell to a demonic jutsu. Finally they saw the events that took place before Naruto warped back to the past. They saw him losing slightly, they saw Naruto release the Kyuubi, they saw Pain dying while uttering his last words, and finally darkness. The Rokudaime stood silently before sighing and turning to the other 2. So there you have it. The events that lead up to everything. I may have left a few parts out, but yeah, that's mostly it, finished the blonde at last. They too just slowly tried to get used to the info that was just now shoved into their brains like a nail getting hit with a hammer through jello. Sure, as I make changes this stuff will change so much that it's practically useless, but I hope to stop as much as I can, he said as he struck a confident pose, his fist in his face as his face looked towards the sky. I have only one more question, asked Sarutobi. And that would be? Asked Naruto. Do you know literally every secret of Konoha? He asked. Yes, every one of them, he replied. So you know who your family is, right? Asked the Hokage as Kakashi's interest was piqued. Namikaze Minato, Yondaime Hokage and Uzumaki Kushina, heiress of the Uzumaki clan, said Naruto casually as he prepared for something. Nani! Came the loud yell of Kakashi as he nearly broke the silencing jutsu he placed on the room. Ehehe. Damn, mumbled the third as he backed away from the scarecrow. You! How could you? Yelled the scarecrow as he crept forward. Calm down! Yelled the Hokage as he backed into a corner and stared at Naruto, who was mouthing Gomen. You told me he died. You told me he was killed in the accident. You lied to me, yelled the scarecrow as he broke his usual calm demeanor and was staring daggers at the man in front of him. Enough! I know that you are my godfather, and that Rin-san was supposed to be my godmother. Calm down, okay? Soothed Naruto as he watched the man. Kakashi's anger seemed to evaporate as he walked back and slumped in his chair depressed. He looked at the floor hard as though trying to burn holes into the floor. Sarutobi was trying to regain his dignity as he got back up. The genjutsu faded as the younger Naruto reappeared. The window outside showed a sunrise. Their conversation lasted all night. Well, me and Kakashi Tausen will meet up with Sasuke-kun and Sakura-chan now. Oh, one last thing. If you ever get a C-ranked mission to escort someone to Wave, make sure I get that mission, said the younger blonde. Kakashi's eyes started watering at the name, and he nodded before heading out. Naruto disappeared as wind blew across his visage and blurred his image until it was no longer visible and the wind died down. I need to learn how to do that, muttered Kakashi as he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Man, what a night, grumbled the third. I know, Hokage-sama. Paperwork for you, said a woman as she walked in with a wheelbarrow of paperwork. The Hokage gaped at the stack before Kotetsu and Izumo waked in with 2 more wheelbarrows. All throughout the village, they heard a yell of anguish coming from the Hokage's office. The yelling stopped when Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, yelled Sandaime as he remembered what Naruto did. With Naruto and Kakashi both appeared in Training Ground 7 early. Man, this chapter was so serious. Time for some funnies, ha 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 ha. The two waited for their last 2 comrades. A couple minutes later, Sakura could be seen, reading the orange book as though addicted. Sasuke arrived next, also with the book. I take it you two like it? Laughed Naruto as Kakashi felt pride in converting his students to be Prevetarians. You were right, if you ignore the smut part. Sakura blushed heavily at that. It is really good, she answered. HN, muttered Sasuke. If one listened close enough, one could hear suppressed giggles from the Uchiha. Suddenly the two stopped reading and looked at their 2 teammates. They stared, then screamed. OMFG. It's the end of the world, yelled Sakura. We are all gonna die, yelled Sasuke as he broke his Uchiha calm. The world is gonna blow, yelled the Pinkette as Naruto and Kakashi watched curiously. A couple minutes later, Team 8 with Hinata, Kiba, Shino, and Kurenai appeared on the yard. What's going on? I could hear them yelling about doomsday all the way in Training Field 28, yelled Kurenai over their yelling. Kakashi-sensei was early. We are all gonna die, panicked the Uchiha. Kurenai looked at Kakashi, then her watch, then she freaked out too. OMFG. Kakashi is early. Ah! She shrieked as she started running around in circles. Hey! I can be early if I want to, yelled Kakashi. A sudden yell came from the other side of the field. We are gonna die. Kakashi is here early, yelled Asuma as Team 10 showed up. My youthful flames are going to extinguish, yelled Guy as he too appeared. Kakashi-sensei is early? Yelled Lee since he knew who Kakashi was. The end of the world is near, yelled Tenten. Fate has turned against us, yelled Niji as he too freaked out, surprising everyone before they shrugged off. The idiots X8 ran around in circles as they awaited their doom. Naruto finally got fed up and silenced them with a spike of killer intent. You guys shut them up, he yelled as they all gaped. Naruto never acted like that. Naruto yelled at us for pissing him off? We are really going to die, yelled Kiba as he joined the idiots X8 to turn them into the idiots X9. Eventually, everyone freaked out except for Kakashi and Naruto, whose sweat dropped at everything. Shino was also normal, but he seemed to be twitching. Alright, how do we stop them? Asked Kakashi. I have an idea, but I won't like it. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, yelled Naruto as he made 19 other clones. 10 of the clones went to one side while the other 9 plus Naruto all went to the other. They all put up a single hand seal as Kakashi closed his eyes. Oiroke no jutsu. Sexy jutsu, yelled 10 of the clones. Oiroke, Shizuai Han. Sexy, female version jutsu, yelled the other 10. There was a large puff of smoke as 10 women and 10 men appeared. They all struck a pose within the smoke. The idiots took one look and they all fainted with nosebleeds. The clones all disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Naruto. That is now ranked as a forbidden S-rank jutsu for use only in an emergency, said Kakashi as he looked at all the unconscious people. So Niji really isn't gay, mumbled Naruto as he felt relieved. You thought he was gay? Asked the Scarecrow as he read his book. He never took a wife in another life, whispered Naruto. Couple hours later. I see you are all finally awake, yelled Naruto as the last of the group woke up. All I remember seeing is a blonde god, mumbled Kurenai. So, beautiful, muttered Kiba as he had a red grin. Naruto-sama, I've been a bad girl, whispered Hinata. Thankfully only the author in the sky heard her. Whoa, kinky sex, ha ha. They all gathered around as the 4 teams headed for the Hokage Tower. Kurenai-sensei, mumbled Kiba. Yes? She responded. Why are we all going to the tower together? Asked the Inuzuka as several of the soon-to-be rookie 9 nodded their heads. Well, you see, we jonin senseis made a tradition that when the teams were all made, we would get our first missions together, explained Asuma. Then why is Eyebrows Senior tagging along? Asked Naruto. He doesn't like being outdone by his eternal rival, mumbled Kakashi. By the way, Kakashi, I heard you had a godson, said Kurenai, hoping for gossip. Yes, I do, he answered sheepishly. And who would that be, Kakashi-sensei? Asked Naruto. I'll give you all a riddle then. I live by myself, with no one to care. My face makes most people look and glare. I make people believe in their dreams. I'll surely catch mine, as hard as it seems. I resemble the sky, like a clear day. I believe in my Nindo, as the only sure way, said Kakashi. Hee, nice riddle if I do say so myself. Took me 5 seconds to think it up. Damn, that's hard, mumbled everyone. Well, we're here, smiled Kakashi as they approached the tower. They all walked in, each one thinking who Kakashi's godson is. Sarutobi and Iruka were waiting as they all entered the building. Hey, Aji-san. Hey, Iruka-sensei, yelled Naruto. Naruto, speak to Hokage-sama with more respect, yelled Iruka. It's quite alright, Iruka. Now everyone, here are your first missions, smiled the third as he tossed them all a scroll with a large D on them. What's our first assignment, Kakashi-sensei? Asked Sakura. We need to, oh dear God, find Daimyo's wife's cat, said Kakashi. Doesn't sound too hard, muttered Sasuke. Kakashi, Naruto, and Sarutobi looked at each other, one in forgiveness, the other 2 in anger. They all walked out ready to retrieve the world's most evil cat. Omake! A Jutsu's Part 2. Hosted by the Last Night Uzumaki Show. Naruto. Hey, and welcome back to the show, Niji. Today I am helping to host for my embarrassment from last time. Naruto. It wasn't that bad. Well, anyone introduce our next victim guest? Niji. And here we have, Ino. Hi everyone. Naruto. So Ino, you can go into people's minds, am I right? Ino. Yep. Niji. So you can take over a guy's body and look at them? Ino. Yeah. Naruto. Hell, she could use someone else's body and have sex with her own, ha ha ha. Niji. Only if she's that desperate. Ino. Hey. Naruto. Be careful, she might use our bodies to do herself. Niji. Hell, she could do a lot more with her other jutsu. Make us all disorientated so that she doesn't even need to leave her body. Ino. Blushes at the thought before fainting from it. Thoughts. Naruto. Looks like we knocked M dead. Niji. That pun was not called for. Naruto. Anyway. See you next time.